a month.
Offer ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
Fill your tank. Don't drain your wallet. Sam's Club lets you save time at the pump with Scan and Go checkout at Sam's Club fuel stations. Just scan the QR code on the pump and pay. Visit your local Sam's Club today.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 166171 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday here on this Wednesday, mostly sunny and temperatures in the middle 80s with highs near 90 this afternoon. Overnight, we're in the low 70s. The heat and humidity coming back tomorrow with highs in the low to mid 90s, highs near triple digits heading into the weekend. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 461 points at 44,964.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are live from Charlotte because it's ACC football. Kickoff.
Let's go. All the football happening in Charlotte this week.
That is true. It is also the city of location for the Carolina Panthers opening up training camp, day one of practice today. The cleats on grass within a short drive of where we sit right now. We're going to be here today and tomorrow. All of our ACC football kickoff coverage presented by Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Stanford. And I have a feeling I just gave away where our big 3 at 3 is going to start. Let's start with number 1. Number one, ACC Kickoff. There it is. By the way, remote broadcast. I don't know what the delay is going to be. I'm Tim Donnelly, by the way. Didn't do this. Dennis Cox here with me, as is Dave Modlin, and also Ashley from our social media manager out here in Charlotte. Graham back at the studio, keeping us up and running. And the reason why we have so many hands on deck is because the ACC Kickoff, I think, has a little bit extra buzz this year.
Yeah, there is.
I think there's a little bit extra sizzle this year for a multitude of reasons. Tomorrow will be electric for the local teams.
Yep.
3 teams in the triangle all tomorrow, along with Clemson and a few others. Today we have Wake Forest as far as North Carolina teams, and you'll hear from one of their star players. You'll hear from their brand new head coach, Jake Dickert, later in the show. But I think there is a lot of teams that maybe are coming into this year, for lack of a better term, angered.
Okay.
Right? I think there's a lot of teams that feel disrespected. I think there's a lot of teams that are maybe in the shadow of something that they aren't used to being in the shadow of, maybe like a Bill Belichick. I think a team like Florida State wants to avenge last year. I think teams that made it to the CFP are looking to prove that they deserve to get back and get another chance.
Yeah, and I think when Clemson rolls in tomorrow, it's going to be like, hey, we're going to be back to Clemson.
And they spent a bunch of money on there's actually a bunch of money on coordinators kind of all across the conference. So my point is today at the ACC Kickoff, it almost felt like a school cafeteria when like, there's going to be a fight in the hallway later.
All right.
You don't know who, you don't know why. You're just, there's that vibe in the air. And I think that's good for the ACC. And it might, you know what it actually might be? It might be the ACC as a whole feels disrespected.
True.
It might be
100%.
Almost a banding together of like, hey, listen, I know we bicker, but nobody else gets to talk trash on us, right? It's like, the siblings that then go beat up the kid down the street. It's like, we don't like each other, but I'm not going to let him talk about you like that.
Yeah, you talk trash with your teammates, and like sometimes it can get a little bit personal, but if someone else on another team comes you, no, I got your back. And I think that's kind of part of it, because we hear a ton of conversation about college football playoff. What's the future of the CFP going to look like? And a lot of people are like, well, Big Ten and SEC should get this many, and then, the ACC should just get a couple. It's like, no. We got to prove that we're big boys too. Everyone's going to keep putting SEC and Big Ten up there. Like, no, we got to raise our level play in order for them to say, yeah, SEC, Big Ten, ACC, they got to get this many. Big 12, you catch up.
It's always, they have all the money. Well, it's like, wait a second. That got all the big money transfer quarterbacks seem to be coming to the ACC. A lot of the highest paid coordinators right here in the ACC. You can talk about all the money you have, but we're spending it. And I do think that is part of it here, where there's a lot of disrespect felt. And, when on July 23rd here in Charlotte, you can't really settle it, but I think everybody's itching to get on the field where they can start doing some talking with their pads.
For sure.
Speaking of getting on the field, let's get to number 2 in the big 3 at 3.
Number 2.
Panthers day 1. Dennis, while I was taking down some of the interviews here, you ran out to get boots on the ground, cleats on grass, turf with the Carolina Panthers. What were your biggest takeaways?
We're not allowed to step on the grass. We got to stand on the turf on the sideline. Panthers get to stay on the grass. But a couple things that definitely stood out today. One of the big conversations, obviously, yesterday, no Josie Jewell. That was a conversation among many people yesterday. It's like, how does the defense kind of alter around that? But there is – I'll go on the offensive side of things first with the wide receiving group. When I went to minicamp back in June, Darrell McMillan wasn't practicing. Jimmy Horn Jr., those guys weren't practicing. And in the day I went, Adam Thielen had a vet day off. So it's like, well, great. There's half the receiving core wasn't practicing. Well, you actually
now I see why you like Jalen Coker so much. He was the only one running routes.
I'm a Jalen Coker guy. Let's call it what it is.
I didn't know he was the only one practicing when you went to watch.
It's true. But when you see McMillan and Leggett, Coker, Thielen, Horn, Renfro, like when you see that group of guys, there is a very diverse group of terms of talent and body and skill set. Like it really is, because you saw McMillan out there. He's not that burner guy, but he does have that long stride and that very long frame. You see the physical stature of Xavier Leggett, who looks quicker, especially having the offseason surgery on his foot. And then you see Thielen doing his thing, but Jimmy Horn Jr., smaller guy, but his speed pops. Like there's a little bit of everything, and you could tell how it could complement each other as well. Chuba Hubbard looked slimmed down, looked faster. Jadavian Sanders looked slimmed down, faster as well. And they beefed up that defensive line. They really did. We actually, for Panthers Playbook, Chris Lee and I from WRAL had a conversation one-on-one with Tershawn Wharton, one of their big free agent signings. And even to end camp, we talked a lot about Nick Scorton and Princely Umamielen, the two rookies drafted in second and third round. They ended practice, Princely Umamielen actually getting to Bryce Young for a sack at the end of practice. May have touched the quarterback a little bit. He got a talking to in the ear about that. But not only was Umamielen, but Nick Scorton was back there in the backfield as well. It's like, and also on that same play, Trayvon Merrick was coming on a blitz too. I was like, whoa, okay. Didn't see that any last year. Even we just seen that day one of camp. I know, again, day one of camp, no pads, but there's a lot to be excited about. I know Dave Canales and J.C. Horn all said, yeah, Panthers are going to be a tough out this year. And
we have a ton of audio from post-practice interviews and everything that we'll get to throughout the show. So you'll hear the reactions to all the events you just heard straight from Dave Canales, from J.C. Horn, from Bryce Young and Turk Wharton. Yeah. And whoever else we can gather for you. But we will bring you that audio later in the show. In the meantime, we got to get to number 3 at the Big 3 at 3.
Number 3.
The Belichick effect.
Oh, it's real.
The Belichick effect is in effect for the Carolina Tar Heels. Earlier than at any point in time, I believe, in their history, they have sold out every ticket to their football season.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, I didn't realize that many people go to football games to watch the coaches.
Maybe.
It's, as a former player, it was always kind of, they're here to watch us, not you. Turns out they may have been there to watch the coaches because the attraction for seeing the Carolina Tar Heels this year is, and I'm being facetious saying they're there to see Bill Belichick. They're there to see what Belichick can do to that program, right? And they're there to see what he can turn those players into, and they're there to see, I'm sure, some watch for the crash. They're there to see it crash and burn, or they're there to see it, thrive and rub it in the face. But I think what we can be 100% sure of is one of the very first things we talked about when Bill Belichick, it was like confirmed and double confirmed that he was taking the UNC job, right? Because there was that moment of like, hey, before I go on air, can somebody make sure this is true? Before I say Bill Belichick is taking a college job, once we got our brains wrapped around it, the next thing was the center of the college football world at times this year is going to be right here in the Triangle, because all eyes are going to be pointed on the curiosity, the mystery, the kind of unpredictable nature of a 6-time Super Bowl champion winning coach taking over a program. And it looks like the fans are at least as intrigued as we thought they were. I don't know if they're excited, trepidatious, whatever you want to call it, but they bought the tickets. They are completely sold out.
Let's not forget, speaking of tickets, remember UNC week 2 has to come play Charlotte, UNC Charlotte. They're playing that game at Bank of America just to accommodate all the people. I don't think people realize that. So to accommodate all the media and all the attention and potential ticket sales, because there might be a lot of Carolina UNC fans that, hey, this might be our only chance to go watch UNC this year, is actually go pay for the game when they're playing here in Charlotte. So they'll be at Bank of America Stadium, from my understanding, week 2.
And part of, and we'll talk about it throughout the show, but part of the vibe of today is, granted, I mean, just to keep everybody clear, the way the ACC runs kickoff, which is where we are here in Charlotte, they divide the league into thirds, and 1/3 of the teams was yesterday, 1/3 today, 1/3 tomorrow. UNC is until tomorrow, and I would probably say one of the more talked about teams has been UNC.
Oh, absolutely.
When reporters and media people are together, you're hanging out, you're getting lunch. There's a lot of mumbling about, like, what do you think Bill Belichick's going to do? Do you think he's going to do the whole media thing? Do you think he's going to come down and give interviews? What do you think?
Think he'll talk to us?
Are they going to show up? Like, I haven't heard anything. Like, it's the mystery of Bill Belichick is definitely a story of the ACC this year. And I guess the only way to guarantee you're going to even catch a glimpse is to buy a ticket, and that's what the fans did.
Yep.
And they sold out the entire season for the Carolina Tar Heels. That's the Big 3 at 3 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, we're here all day today and all day tomorrow for ACC Football Kickoff, presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Stanford. And we'll get to our first interview with one of the newsmakers, one of the stars in the ACC this year. It's not an exaggeration to say this. The fastest player in college football last year, if you look at GPS times, he reached the top speed of anyone in the country. Claiborne, running back for Wake Forest, joined the table earlier today, and that conversation is coming up for you next.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
It's Bo time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Want to score points with your boss? Recruit RoofWorks to your building maintenance team to handle your commercial roofing needs. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. We've helped hundreds of Triangle businesses with their commercial roof maintenance, repairs, and if necessary, total replacements. Our pros come to your site, assess your roofing needs, and then give you a range of options to fit your budget. And we'd love to work with you. For roof maintenance and repair, contact us today at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
Over the top, you can see Molidar didn't know where the ball was.
Claiborne knows where the ball is. He knows where the goal line is. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
Welcome back into 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, joined now at ACC Media Days in Charlotte by Claiborne, Wake Forest senior running back. Over 1,000 yards rushing last year, 11 touchdowns. Fastest guy in the college, or fastest running back in college football, 26, the video game, if you're looking at the ratings. Damon, thank you very much for taking the time. Have the emotions, you were quoted as having some kind of emotional roller coasters when Dave Clawson revealed to the team that he was stepping away. Coming into the season now, Coach Dickert is the guy. How are the emotions feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling great, actually. You know, Coach Dickert came in and he wanted me to be a part of this program. You know, when we talked and we met his first meeting, it was strictly about how can he help me as a person. You know, and so stepping into that meeting and being involved with a coach who's wanting to see me grow more as a man than as an athlete on the football field was something that I really look forward to. And the energy is real. Coach Dickert's real, and the coaching staff he brought in is real, and it's been a fun ride so far.
college football is changing in so many ways. New coach, impressive highlight film, a lot of money out there in the transfer portal. How tempting was it to go explore those options and cash in a big way?
Yeah, it was tempting in many ways, but definitely the person I am and the kid I am, I definitely needed to be around a community-based feel and the team. And, Wake Forest has provided that to me for the last 3 years, going on 4 now. And so Coach Dickert stepping in that role and saying, hey, man, like, we want to continue to build this thing around you, and whatever you need and whatever you want was definitely something that allowed me to continue to want to be here and be involved.
Damon Claiborne, running back for Wake Forest, joining us here at ACC Kickoff. What does an offense built around you look like? Are we getting you the ball in different ways? Explain it to me.
Yeah, I mean, no more slow mesh.
No more slow mesh.
No more slow mesh. The slow mesh is out, which for me, I'm super excited about. Allowing me to get more opportunities in space, allowing me to get that foot in the ground and get vertical now was definitely something I've been looking more forward to. Everything's fast, everything, and we move fast, and so. Just having, Coach Dickert come in and install what he knows, and then having Robbie Zell also come in and put his brains to the offense and, to my talents has definitely been something that has been enjoyable to be a part of for sure.
Robbie Zell, obviously the offensive coordinator brought in by Coach Dickert. Are you familiar with his viral moments from his playing career?
Yeah, absolutely. We went back not too long ago and actually watched that. Great guy. Love Coach Zell at first. Me and Coach Estelle kind of stalemated a little bit, but we both competitors, and so when I can look over and see my coach, locked in and dialed into the next play call or adjusting to certain formations, it allows me to go out there and run through a big brick wall for that guy. So definitely love Coach Robbie Zell, and our relationship has definitely grown over these last couple of months of being around each other.
Just for the listeners that don't know, Robbie Zell was on Alabama, and he, while playing, did one of the best Nick Saban impressions in the locker room, and it's a very viral clip. You can go look it up. Do you have a Coach Dickert or a Coach Zell impression? Let's see if we can go viral.
I do not.
No,
it's hard.
Okay.
It's hard to.
All right, that's fair, I guess. So here's the deal. For those of you that don't know, Damon, your calling card is speed, right? Last year, I don't know if you track all the GPS analytics. Real Analytics had you topped at the miles per hour fastest of any player, not just running back in the country. We brought up the college football 26 stuff. So in honor of that, I feel like we need to do a speed round, right?
Let's do it.
All right. So I got a bunch of questions here in front of me. I'm going to ask them as fast as I can. You answer as quickly as you can. We'll see if the speed keeps up in the interview like it does on the field.
I got you. Absolutely.
All right. Let's fire it up. 80-yard touchdown or 100-yard kick return? Which would you rather?
100-yard kick return.
Why?
Just creates better atmosphere.
Better Wake Forest hooper, Tim Duncan or Chris Paul?
I got to go Chris Paul, just because, he's closer to my age, I guess.
All right. Best restaurant to go out to eat in Winston-Salem?
Probably Sin Burger Bar. Love that spot. Great burgers. You can get whatever you want on a burger, and so that's me.
What's the order? If you can get whatever you want, what are you getting?
I get the day after burger with an egg, candy bacon, French fries, and cheese on the burger.
The GOAT running back in the history of football is?
Walter Payton.
Why?
5'9" horse, toted the ball, was a dog. Love watching his old film. Wish I got a chance to actually meet him in person.
Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Drake.
Why were you hesitant?
A lot of people will want me to say Kendrick, but I think Drake he's just lyrical, and I can vibe better to Drake.
First thing that comes to mind when I say Coach Dickert?
Fun, energy.
First thing comes to mind when I say Dave Clawson?
Cool guy.
All right. Stiff arm or spin move?
Stiff arm for sure.
The hardest hitter on the team is?
Quincy Bryant for sure. Linebacker.
All right. Quincy Bryant, linebacker, or Malik Mustafa? Who hits harder?
Malik. Yeah.
Malik, sorry.
Yeah, Malik.
If you aren't doing something related to football, you are most likely doing what?
Chilling at the crib, playing piano.
Playing piano?
Playing piano, yeah.
Man of many talents.
Yeah, 100%.
What's the song?
All depends. I've been on Coldplay, learning John Legend, All of Me. So trying to learn Rod Wave. That's my favorite artist. So trying to learn some Rod Wave stuff. Can't really read music. So everything I'm doing is watching a YouTube video and then just putting it on my keyboard at the crib.
All right, last one. 247 Composite Sports had you as the 4th best running back in Virginia from your recruiting class. All 3 of them that were ahead of you have transferred or retired. Can you name them?
Yes, I can. Ramon Brown.
Correct. Midlothian.
Bryce Duke.
No.
Was he not?
No, not one of the three ahead of you. You want a hint?
I forget the guy that went to UNC. Now that JMU.
Uh-huh.
And I forget
George Pettaway.
George Pettaway, and then
last one he went to North Stafford.
Tevin
White.
Yeah.
So you're not like the Amon-Ra St. Brown who's memorizing players put above you and using that as motivation?
Nah, I could care less about that stuff. Coming up in high school too, I always knew that, I was better than those guys, truthfully. But the school I went to, I was a small country boy, didn't really have a lot going on, was a 2A school, had about my graduation class was like 160, so we were very small. So we didn't have the publicity that a lot of those other schools had. And I was the first guy out of my school to go Division I. You know what I mean? And so in the history of my school program, so I wasn't really using those guys as motivation. I just did what I had to do to help my team win.
Tamon Claiborne, Wake Forest senior running back, joining us here at ACC Kickoff. Just a couple more for you. As you described it, right? Small school, country boy. What is it like to see your name on some NFL draft, mock drafts, and as one of the prospects coming into this year that the league is looking at?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see all that stuff. But, right now my main focus is, camp starting next week. And, being a small town kid and having those opportunities are opportunities of a lifetime. It gives me inspiration to continue to go out and want to be, successful and, provide and put on for my city and for my small community. Just to get back to those kids who might be looking at me as a way out and as an opportunity to see, their next step forward. And so, it's awesome to see all that type of stuff. But right now, the main focus is just, doing what I have to do day by day.
As a leader of the offense going into camp, what's it like not knowing maybe who's going to be the starting quarterback or what that rotation is going to be, and you're still figuring that out?
Yeah, 100%. That's something that can get challenging sometimes, but all our QBs are great. I got a chance to work with all of them this summer, in the spring, and in the fall I'll be working with all of them. And so I kind of just trust in the coaching staff. They'll put the best person on the field when the time comes. But until then, I just have to stay focused on the run game and pass blocking and protecting the QB no matter who's back there.
How are they different? They're not better or worse. I wouldn't ask you to do that, but what are the differences that you have to get used to with each of them?
I would say with Robbie, me and Robbie in the backfield is definitely an explosive punch. You can hand the ball to me, or he can take off, himself. He's a bigger, thicker QB. He can actually throw the ball. He's very involved and in tune to what's next. Same with Deshaun Purdy coming from Charlotte. This kid has an arm on him. He can sling the rock. You know what I mean? And he's young and he's still learning, but he's very in tune to what's going on next. And he's a high energy guy, comes in, wants to speak, be involved with everybody. And so having two guys like that compete, but also know that this is for the betterment of the Demon Deacons in our season has definitely been something I'm honorable to see.
Honestly, because I know the fans are going to want to know. You're not going to miss the slow mesh at all. It was Wake Forest thing.
Yeah, nah.
All right.
Hopefully, eliminating the slow mesh can allow us to, get points quicker and tire defenses out faster. Because the slow mesh definitely was a big part of my game for the last 3 years. And so making this adjustment to Coach Dickert and Coach Ezel's new scheme has definitely been something that I had to work a lot on. But I'm excited to get rid of that and focus on the new.
Do you hear from the track coach, or did you hear from any of that when you put up the speed numbers you put up? I imagine it's pretty fun to race people. Like if I were you, every time we're running 110s or 300s, it's all right, everybody on the line. Like I want to win. I guess talk about your competitiveness when it comes to the speed thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the speed, I could say all summer I had some guys on the team who was touching my numbers a little bit, and so. That's a great thing from a competitive standpoint, because I never get comfortable. I always have somebody pushing the thread, pushing me to be better. And so having my teammates, other fast guys on the team, helping me get to that point is allow me to become even faster. You know what I mean? And so I definitely appreciate, my teammates, and I definitely appreciate the string staff, all the guys who's allowed me to become faster and push that thread to allow my mechanics to get better.
All right, we need some names. Who's right there with you when you're crossing the line?
So Ladarius Webb Jr.,
Ladarius Webb Jr.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with his pops, I
Yeah,
assume.
Yeah, his dad played with the
Ravens. Yep.
Yeah, and so that kid's fast. He got some stuff to him. He's aggressive. I mean, just not from the speed standpoint, just from the overall personality of who he is. Not the biggest DB, but definitely will get his hands on you and play physical. Another guy that's very, very fast that a lot of people wouldn't really expect. We got a guy named Chris Barnes.
I'll write it down.
Christopher Barnes from Texas. Very fast. Kind of reminds me of Tyreek Hill a little bit. Get that kid
real fast.
Yeah, get that kid in space, and he could definitely make something happen. And so he's a great attribute to the team.
Well, Damon, we appreciate you stopping by and talking with us. Good luck this season and enjoy it, right? One more time around college football.
Absolutely. I got you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Once again, that's Damon Claiborne, Wake Forest senior running back, earlier today right here in Charlotte, joining us at ACC Kickoff. We are going to take a quick break. All of our ACC Kickoff coverage, by the way, is presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Stanford. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, audio from the first day on the practice field for the Carolina Panthers. You want to hear from the coach? We'll let you do that next.
Hot summer days mean time on the water. Let Sound Station and Security make your time even better with our custom boat options. At Sound Station and Security, our Raleigh marine experts can help you for everything with your boat, from the perfect audio system to lights to video. We do it all custom, and we do it all from scratch. You're unique. Your boat should be too. Make sure everyone knows where the best party is this summer on the lake with Sound Station and Security. With 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum, and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharky's. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime, and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know, my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durrell Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Off the play fake, Herbert to throw. Herbert looking to the near sideline. Herbert's under pressure. He breaks away from Clowney, throws on the run, intercepted! J.C. Horn at the 40-yard line.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan from Charlotte for ACC Football Kickoff. Presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Stanford. But Charlotte is not only the location for ACC football kickoff this week, it's also where the Carolina Panthers are starting off training camp. They were practicing today. How about it?
Yeah,
actually practicing
Helmets
today.
only, but still practicing.
They were on a football field. They used pigskins. It's practice to me. And part of the story of this year for the Panthers, and Dennis, maybe it's just me, but because of the way last season went, where there was this first 2 games that was so brutal, and then the benching, and you have the Andy Dalton era, and then you have the Bryce Young resurgence, and you have similar ups and downs with the defense, and you have this period where Adam Thielen's not out there with the hamstring for a while, and there were all of these differences. Sometimes it's hard to remember that Dave Canales is going into his 2nd year as head coach of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, because he's lived through it already.
Because
in so many ways.
It's like he's had victory press conferences. He's had, PR damage control press conferences.
Had a bench McQB. He had to go through all of it.
It feels like he's been here forever, but this is just his 2nd year, which means it's the first time he's gotten to say, I tried this, it didn't work. Let me try this time, right? Last time I came in with all these glorious ideas that I stole from Pete Carroll or that I got from Todd Bowles, and turns out it doesn't work for me, and I need to change it. And I think that is, it's not the same as a Dan Quinn in Washington, where it's like, you've been a head coach for a long time, and you already kind of know the ins and outs. This was Dave Canales' first run at it, which means starting today, it's his first time doing something again. You know what I mean? It's the first time getting a second chance at it. And Dave Canales spoke with the media after practice about how he feels coming into his second training camp.
Oh, it feels great. I just, honestly, it really starts with the players. I think it's more just they understand the expectation of what a great practice looks like for us from start to finish, the transition in between. Everybody's moving around. That when you're not in, you're talking football, and all those things are happening, and so it feels a lot different knowing that I have a group of leaders that have my back, and that understand the expectation that myself and the coaching staff is looking for.
Now, he would never say this, but what he just said also kind of means what I'm about to tell you. If you read between the lines, at the beginning of last year, they didn't have each other's back. Right. And how could they? Right. They didn't know each other. They hadn't been through battles yet.
Yeah.
So, him saying it's nice to have leaders on the team that have my back is another way of saying last year we were still earning each other's trust. Right. We still didn't know each other. And maybe that showed up a bit in those early struggles.
We heard Robert Hunt even say something along those same lines yesterday. Hey, what'd you expect last year, as opposed to this year? And he's like, honestly, I didn't expect anything because it was so much unknown. Like there were so many new parts, new pieces, new people. There's hard to understand or know anything going into last year.
And I'm not saying it would have changed the entire season, but I do think once you've been in a metaphorical foxhole with a guy a few times, if you come out and you give up a 60-yard touchdown pass and then throw an interception on your first offensive drive, you react better knowing the guy next to you is somebody that you're down with, right? So again, I don't think they win game 1 last year if the wheels fall off, but hey, they like each other. But it does change the way you react to those situations, or at least the speed that they react to those decisions. If it's about the player, he's got to be more confident in Bryce Young coming into year 2.
I hope.
Dave Canales on what he saw out of Bryce Young in his first day of camp.
I don't know that I see anything new necessarily. My expectation for Bryce is to lead this team, which he never stopped doing all throughout last year, even with the challenges that it presented. But he just came right back in, and from the moment we went out there for center quarterback exchange, it's like his familiarity with the system, his command of everything is just like we just picked up where we left off in the spring, to be able to push our concepts and our systems forward, which is really the goal is can we master this so we can add little nuances. And so I feel like, coming in with the type of rhythm and the type of command gives us a chance to continue to grow those things.
I agree with all of that. I think that's a bit coach speaky, but also I do think Dave Canales is the type of guy that wants to turn over more control to his quarterback, right? It's almost like a proud thing when it's like, no, you handle this drive, not fully, right? But hey, if you see something change the play, I do think he wants to empower Bryce, but that's again that trust building process that only comes with time. And by all accounts, and actually, Dennis, this is a good thing to ask you since you were out there for practice today.
Yeah.
By all accounts, he has at least appeared, right, as much as you can appear to somebody. The media, we don't know the calls. We don't know what, check Ralph means or whatever, probably to the right. But it appears as if he's taken a lot of control of the offense. Like he's the one kind of running the show unless there is a coach stopping the action and making a teaching point.
It kind of ties into the very last play that we saw at the end of practice. They were doing 11-on-11 drills and such, and they recognize, he and Austin Corbett recognize there's a blitz coming. And Corbett calls it out like, hey, wait, hold on, check, there's a blitz coming over here. Bryce recognized it too, and he's up at the line of scrimmage adjusting stuff, and now the defense brought a ton of pressure. They actually still got the Bryce, but at least it's like the play recognition and things like that ahead of time. Like, he was trying to get them into the right place. Again, you're not wearing pads, so it's kind of hard to fully tell what would happen on a given play since it's not full contact, but still, you can kind of tell just his communication with his receivers and his running backs, tight ends, like everyone up front. You could tell that he was in much more command, and you could see the confidence in himself where it's like, I know what to do, or at least I trust myself. If I make a decision, I'm going with it, and I'm not going to second guess myself.
It's my offensive coordinator used to say, don't hope you're right.
Yeah.
You have to know you're right? Because if you're hoping you're right, you're up there going like, all right, I think he's going to break in on this based on the defense. But if you know you're right, you're like, all right, when he hits that break, I'm throwing it, right? I'm letting it go. And that's the only way it works. And obviously at the NFL, it's times 100 and it's faster and the windows are smaller, times 1,000, whatever you want to call it. I'm saying it's a long way better. But that's the next step for Bryce, right? Is to know he's right in all those situations, not make the same mistake twice, snap and throws off, and we'll see if it happens. I do appreciate the media helping us put a bow on one of our conversations from yesterday.
Yeah.
So yesterday, our question of the day for the Panthers, the final one of the whole offseason, because we don't ask them once practice starts, was what are the expectations for the Carolina Panthers? And we talked about it. And then Dave Canales today was asked, what does a successful season look like this year? Which is a very similar question. And here's his answer.
Weekly growth, and right now our focus is having a great camp. For me, it's owning the system and working ourselves into condition to where we can be ready to play week one. That's the focus, and I think with this group, with just talking to the guys in the team meeting with the group that we've brought together, how quickly can we play together? How quickly can we communicate and show that style of football that we want to put out there, and I think that the sky's the limit for this group. I think that this is going to be a very competitive team. I don't think people are going to want to play us by the style of football that we play. I'm expecting that. My expectations are really high for this group. They are every year, and we're going to shoot for as good as we can get. My language to the group is, I want to make sure we maximize the talent in this room. That'll take us as far as we need to go, but that's going to be our focus.
There's a lot of coach speak in that answer.
A little bit.
I do think there's a nugget right in the middle that means something, which is I don't think teams are going to want to play us.
Yeah.
I've long said that, the post-game quick handshake, the best compliment a team can or a coach can give to another coach is when you're shaking hands, even if you won. You say, glad we don't have to see you again.
Yeah.
That right there is the coach is like, all right, we may have lost, but fellas, you worked. You played our brand of football. I think that's, again, it's not tangible, right? And he's never going to come out and say 8 wins would be successful and then lean back. But there is something there. When a team is happy to not play you again, right? When at the end of a game, they're like, we escaped with that one, even if you won, right? I think some of the games later in the season, the Chiefs game, the Eagles game, those were good teams walking away going, whew.
Yeah.
If that would have went 5 quarters, I'm not sure we'd come out with that one.
So for Panthers playbook, Chris Lee and I had a conversation one-on-one with Tershawn Wharton, the defensive lineman they signed for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I asked him about that. Hey, you played here against this Panthers team right here in Charlotte. What was your impression of them? And he's like, Bryce took it to us. We kind of got away with that one a little bit. But he's like, they took it to us a little bit in a sense. We had a dogfight against them. And lucky that they pulled out a win. And he's like, Bryce slung it around on us and everything. It's that same type thing. And it's but now this roster, everything on paper, what we're seeing, health obviously being a factor, it's better. And you anticipate these young guys making a natural step up from last year to this year. Yeah, they're going to be a tough out this year for sure.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, continues from ACC Football Kickoff here in Charlotte with conversation from the newest head coach for Wake Forest. Coach Jake Dickert is taking over the program after Dave Clawson stepped down this offseason, and he stopped by our booth earlier today. That conversation coming up next right here on The Drive.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 five-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Discover the thrill of precision and elegance with Omega. From the depths of the ocean to the heights of space, Omega's Seamaster and Speedmaster collections are crafted for those who dare to explore. With a heritage rooted in innovation and a timeless style inspired by sports, space, and cinematic legends, Omega is made for every adventure. Find your perfect watch at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler. Learn more at BaileyBox.com.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Claiborne in the backfield gets a handoff. He will find the end zone. A pair of 4th down conversions on the drive for Wake Forest, and it's cashed in at the end on the run by Claiborne.
Welcome back into the Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We are joined by the brand new head coach of the Wake Forest Demon Deacons here at ACC Kickoff, Jake Dickert. Coach, we were just talking with Damon Claiborne. In modern college football, new coach, guy posts the fastest GPS time in the country. For a lot of programs, that screams transfer portal. What was the pitch? We heard it from his side. How'd you get him to stay?
Well, I think the biggest thing, I'm very thankful for Damon, to put a stake in the ground and be one of the first players on our team to say, I believe in change. I believe in the new era. But more importantly, this place is great for me. I give Coach Clawson a lot of credit. They put an amazing support system around him. He has like 2 families in Wake Forest that he has dinner with weekly. But at the end of the day, he was my first meeting after my press conference, and we didn't talk a single thing about football. I wanted to get to know him. I wanted to let him know that I'm here for him and that I can create value for him in his life in multiple different ways, not just by handing him the football. And I think that resonated with him. And he's on a journey. He's still 21 years old. He's just been an amazing story. I appreciate his work ethic, his leadership, and man, to have a bell cow like that in your backfield to take the stress off of, a young quarterback situation has been really, really important. So really no pitch, just letting them get to know me and our program and a little bit about our vision of what we want to be.
Now, I mean, that right there, pretty good pitch, right? Very football coach. Like, have you always spoken like that? Like when you're playing Monopoly, are you talking about like looking across the table and taking the will out of your opponent's eyes? Is that just who you are?
Well, I'll tell you this. My boys are 10-8, and anything we play, I do not let them win.
Nice.
Right? You have to appreciate the art of losing before you win. And, you're just an ultimate competitor, and I think that's what Demond is. I think that's what the players that stayed. We walked into that meeting room for the first time, and these guys were just like, let's go. Like, they want to win, right? They want to win. But I tell the guys, it isn't what you want to do. It's what you're willing to sacrifice. And I think our guys have embraced that process. We call that process built in the dark. There's people that have no idea what our team is capable of. They look on the sheet, they see the stats, they see 43 new players, they see where they came from. But we added 17,000 career snaps of experience in the portal. So just really excited to our guys to embrace that process, but really understand that, the flashy things in life you can get lost in. So if we believe in that daily process, that grind, and handle the adversity the right way of the season, we can create tremendous amount of success for ourselves.
Jake Dickert, Wake Forest head football coach, joining us here at ACC Kickoff. 8-4 last year at Washington State. A whole bunch of bowls out there with the Cougars as well. Built in the dark, transfers. When we shine a light on it, who's going to be taking that first snap at quarterback in that backfield with Demond Claiborne? Obviously, Ashford, Purdy, and whoever else the head coach wants to throw into that competition. What are we looking at?
Well, I know this. That is the million-dollar question. And I think it's really important. The biggest thing I'm looking for is not a guy that just leads 10 guys in the huddle, but has the other 105 guys on our roster committed to them. And there's an art to that. And that happens in things I don't see. But we're very open to playing multiple guys. Robbie Ashford and Deshaun Purdy have two very different skill sets. Robbie is one of the best athletes at the quarterback position that I've ever seen. And I've seen Josh Allen, I've seen Cam Ward, I've seen John Mateer. He's really, really unique in that way. And Deshaun Purdy just turned 19. He's got one of the biggest arms, I believe, in the country. And he's transitioned from a thrower to a quarterback this offseason. So the other guy is young Steele Pizzella. We brought him with us as a recruit, signed from California, and he's been tremendous. And, so we're open to playing multiple guys. So when you look at our offense, you're going to have to really decipher, two different styles.
You threw three names out there: Josh Allen, Cam Ward, John Mateer, guys you've worked with, been around at other spots. Assuming there is, and I played quarterback in college, so there's part of it that's just given, right? You just have it. But then there is the development part of it. Like what can you take from your experiences with those guys and pass it along to the three that you just brought up?
All three of those guys had 0 stars to their name. They all three have amazing stories, and they're very unique in their own right. One of the biggest things I tell our quarterbacks need to understand is on game day, you're the greatest decision maker for Wake Forest football, not me. Right? So you have the keys to the car. I support and back them. Mistakes are part of that process, but when, you're built in the dark and you put in that work behind the scenes, that's how you gain that trust of your team and teammates when you're out there. So those are the things that I talk about. You need to be you, right? Don't try to be Cam Ward, right? Don't try to be anybody you're not. And I've really appreciated those guys and their process and how they want to attack it, but I remember seeing John Mateer as a freshman. When camp was over for the day, 10 p.m., I'm going home. He's out in the field with no lights on going through the script. That's what leads to success. Nobody sees that. Nobody talks about that. But that's how you grow and develop. And I think these guys have really accepted that responsibility.
Now, I'm going to give you a little insight into, I guess, what your reputation is. Because, obviously, Washington State came with Kyle Williams is the stud, and the Cam Ward, we kind of knew of the offense, and your defense grabbed all these turnovers. The football was there, but then I also went, was that the guy that was calling out the NIL, the Oregon State discrepancy? Like, because we talked about those comments on the air nationally. Look it up. Surely it was. You were very open about how maybe Washington State's NIL support wasn't where it needed to be to compete with some of your conference rivals. At Wake Forest, with hopefully the same candor, how does the NIL stand up and the support as far as being able to compete against the teams you want to compete against?
Well, I know this. I'm proud of the fact that we went through some of the most adversity any team's ever been through in the history of college football at Washington State. I'm proud of those people. I know how the changes impacted that university and that community. And it was just the right opportunity here at Wake. And we're here because of the people, the alignment, the investment, and just understanding that we're going to be to the max of the cap. We're going to do everything that we continually do to build our football program. But it isn't about transaction. It's still about transforming young people into the best versions of themselves. And I believe that'll always be our edge at Wake. A little intellectual intensity.
There you go. That's that coach talk I'm talking about.
You got to have it.
That's like you're talking to an 8-year-old at Monopoly. We need intellectual intensity.
Let's go get it. And some people talk about Wake and they talk about all the obstacles. I'm just excited about opportunity. We're here because the ACC isn't a slotted league. You find, develop, recruit, execute on game day. You can find yourself in the ACC championship just like SMU did. So that's an exciting piece of the puzzle, and that's why we're here.
Last one for Coach Dickert, Wake Forest head coach. We briefly talked about this off air, but my producer Dennis is actually out at Panthers training camp right now, checking out one of your guys, Shaw Smith-Wade. 5th round pick a season ago. There's some opportunity on that depth chart for him. What do you expect from Smith-Wade this year in the league?
Oh, it's such a great story. I recruited him when I was at Wyoming from Simeon High School in Chicago. Ended up committing to us at Washington State. I always tell this story. For the first 2 years, and you'll say this, he did everything wrong. All right? He made a decision to change his life. All A's, team captain, performance changed. The versatility is through the roof. He's one of the smartest players I've ever been around, and he loves this game. I mean it. I'm so proud of Shaw on where he started to where he is. I think he's going to make Panther fans really, really happy and be a really great mid-round pick.
Jake, we appreciate it. And good luck this season as you get things started with the Demon Deacons.
I appreciate it, guys. Go Deeks.
Once again, that is Jake Dickert, Wake Forest head coach, earlier today here at ACC Kickoff in Charlotte, which is where we are broadcasting today's show from. A little bit of crossover there. We've been talking Panthers and ACC all day. We got a ACC head coach that coached one of the young Panthers talking about his opportunity. But what I thought was more interesting there, I'm not sure if everybody caught it. A little bit of the history of Jake Dickert is when he was at Washington State, I don't know if this was the goal, but it seemed like he was very comfortable sending messages to his superiors through the media.
Okay.
He started talking about how compared to Oregon State, which was a team that they were competing against in conference and otherwise, he's like, listen, in the transfer world, we see the numbers. They're outspending us 10-1. He was very open about tampering and calling out teams on tampering. So, as you heard during that interview, I was like, I hope with the same candor you will talk to us about Wake Forest NIL support and spending situation.
Yeah.
And suddenly, he became much more coy than he was at Washington State. And I wrote down one of the quotes. It's not about transactions. It's about the people. When, again, at Washington State, it was, they're outspending us 10-1. It's I don't know if he is just more comfortable with it. I don't know if it was agreed upon up front. I don't know if at Washington State there was something else at work. But I think the statement made by not kind of taking the bait on that question, not saying I was trying to bait him, but not making a similar statement about Wake Forest as he did his previous employer, is saying, like, no, I expect to win regardless, right? Like there's other teams might have more money, but I'm not going to point to that as a reason why we don't X, Y, Z. When at Washington State, maybe that is what he was pointing to.
Maybe, or he just feels comfortable with what they have. I mean, believe it or not, the alumni base isn't massive from Wake Forest. Obviously, it's the smallest Power 5 school, and that we have. But there's some people with deep pockets that come from Wake Forest. I'm talking deep pockets.
Maybe he's got a few financiers.
Exactly. I mean, he's tapped into those couple pipelines. I mean. Let's be honest. There are a few people out there, the Wake Forest alums, that have some real deep pockets.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's at least one particular golfer who passed away, but maybe the estate's got $1 billion there.
There's that too.
Maybe that's the point. Maybe he was coy because he, when you got the big chip stacks at the table, you're not loud about it. You're a little bit more quiet on that front.
Do I fold here? I don't know.
Let's bet how much makes you uncomfortable. How about that?
For sure.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to Coach Dickert for joining us.
Love his energy, by the way.
Yes. There are a few. And by the way, I think it's becoming almost a prerequisite for college head coaches where you talk to them for 10 minutes and about 5 minutes in, you're like, can I commit?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
oh yeah,
I want to. I'll spend the next 4 years on your program, and then you realize you have no eligibility, and they didn't want you when you did.
It's true.
But like I can see how his, I don't know, performance. That's the wrong word. His personality would play in the living room of a high school kid looking to, decide where to play the next couple of years of his life. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have football at 4 coming up next. And, this whole show could be football at 4, but we'll hear from one of the newest Panthers in Turk Wharton and one of the most important Panthers in Bryce Young from their audio after practice today. Stick around.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious.
Mountain Dew!
Do the Dew.
Hurry into Family Fare and get 2 20-ounce bottles of ice-cold Mountain Dew for just $4.29. Family Fare, first in thirst.
Did you catch Luisito's header?
Yeah, I just recorded it on my new Samsung A36 5G phone I got for free at Total Wireless.
Oh, I'm actually live streaming the whole match with my new Samsung Tab A9 that I also got free at Total Wireless.
I got that tablet too.
And I got that phone too. We both got both.
Go!
Switch to Total Wireless and get both the Samsung A36 5G and the Samsung Tab A9 for free. For a limited time while supplies last, valid in store. Requires new phone activation on the Total 5G Unlimited plan or higher external port and ID verification and new activation on the Total 5G Unlimited 6-month tablet plan. Restrictions apply.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday here on this Wednesday, mostly sunny and temperatures in the middle 80s with highs near 90 this afternoon. Overnight, we're in the low 70s. The heat and humidity coming back tomorrow with highs in the low to mid 90s, highs near triple digits heading into the weekend. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 44,993 points at 490. Market update brought to you by Bolton Construction Services. Bolton is actively hiring experienced HVAC techs with a $2,500 sign-on bonus. As a family-owned leader in HVAC, Bolton puts people first. Don't miss out. Apply now at boltonservice.com.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. ACC Kickoff Day. Our first day here at ACC Kickoff. The ACC Kickoff days when it comes to ACC football. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We'll be bringing you audio from coaches, analysts, players throughout the entire run of the ACC Kickoff, all of our coverage, presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Stanford. Today was also the first day on the practice field for the Carolina Panthers for their training camp. And one of the stories of the day was what happened on the very last play. Maybe it's recency bias, and everybody just saw it right as they were kind of walking off the field, so that's what everybody was talking about. But Bryce Young, which doesn't happen often in a practice that doesn't have any pads.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen often in a practice where everybody is padded up. Bryce Young was strip sacked. The defensive coordinators usually are pretty on top of their players to not touch the quarterback. They wear a different colored jersey. They call it a non-contact jersey for a reason. They're too important. You can't have them, ripping a rotator cuff or stepping on somebody or having their hand come down on a helmet. So once it happened, it was Princely Umanmielen, their third-round pick, got his hand on the ball on Bryce Young and forced a fumble, strip sack. Everybody, whoa, right? And Dennis, you were there.
Yeah.
And did I give the appropriate play-by-play?
Make sure to clarify, he did not make actual contact with Bryce. He literally just got his hand on the football as Bryce was cocking back to throw it, which, again, that can cause an injury in and of itself. But just got his hand on the football, again, didn't just blast Bryce Young.
Which would be a choice.
Yeah, it would be.
Before
Might be his last one.
Before we get to a few thoughts I have on the subject, let's hear from Bryce Young himself, who, by the way, appeared completely fine, no injuries. I know we just talked about how it could, but it didn't appear as if it did. Here's Bryce afterwards on if he confronted Princely Umanmielen after he tried knocking the ball loose.
I mean, I didn't have to say anything, but that's competition. It's football. Obviously, there's some etiquette stuff in football, but young guy getting after his first day out here in training camp, and we want to see those plays on Sundays. He's a competitor. We're all competitors. We want to be getting each other better. So, obviously we want to take care of each other, practice and all that, but I love what he's doing. I love what he stands for. He's on my team at the end of the day. So seeing him do stuff like that is great. So we love the competition.
I feel like I have been, and Dennis, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
I have been an early stockholder in Princely Umanmielen.
You have been.
I like it even more after this. There's a saying, "Whoa versus go."
Mm-hmm.
For an edge rusher specifically, I would much rather have to grab the reins and go, whoa, buddy, too much, relax. Not that you aren't, first of all, you're not to that point yet. This is your first practice as an NFL player ever. But easy. We don't do that to quarterbacks here. I'd much rather have to do that than take a guy who maybe is a little more timid, maybe who's a little bit more afraid of ruffling feathers, and convince them to go, right? Convince them to get moving, convince them to do something. So for an edge rusher, I'm big on I'd rather have to say whoa rather than go. And Princely Umanmielen on day one made it pretty obvious that he is okay, you might have to rein him in every now and then, but I'd rather have that. I think, and I've talked a few times about how he has a certain, I don't know where the line is between confidence and arrogance, but he's flirting with it, and I think that's a position that is good. I think wide receiver is another one where you need to find the line between confidence and arrogance and pass it a few times to be the best at that position. Edge rusher is certainly one of them. I'm excited to see what Princely Umanmielen can do, as long as he does eventually have the people, the coaches that he respects and everything to put up the proper guardrails, because, the most important thing is keeping Bryce Young healthy.
Sure.
But that's one of those deals. It's actually one of my favorite stories, and it's not even mine. Matt Nagy, who works with the Chiefs now, he was the head coach of the Bears for a while, also a former Delaware quarterback. So anytime he's on a podcast or something, I'm like, ooh, let me listen. Delaware, even he has no clue who I am. But he tells a story of he was an intern or a super assistant, a grad, whatever, analyst for the Eagles when Jason Kelce was a rookie.
Okay.
Jason Kelce, future Hall of Famer at center, one of the best to ever live. He was a rookie 6th round pick, I believe. And the veterans pranked him. I don't know what it was. Maybe they put, popcorn in his car, or they,
as one does.
Yeah, they put all his clothes in the shower. I don't know. There was a prank. And Jason Kelce went running into I think it was a actual special teams meeting that was going on. Coach at the front watching film, and banged on the door until the thing opened, even though it was locked, went running in on some like, what, no, nobody's going to do this to me, like just crazy. And of course, you can't do that. You can't ruin a meeting, right? You're a 6th round rookie. You can't interrupt. Like, people have real jobs. They have to get it done. So Nagy said at that moment, everybody, all the coaches, right? It's like, you know, when a kid does something funny and you still have to punish them, right? Like, you can't do it. All right, we're not going to have that. I don't care what they did to you. And then they went in the other room and went, we may have got something there.
It's like, hey, look.
That 6th rounder there may be something there.
How do we use that?
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm like with Princely. It's like, hey, anytime you give the quarterback a buffer, you need 2 yards on every side. You know, we'll see on film that you would have gotten there. Then you turn around and go to Dave Canales like, we got a live one. Got a live one on the edge.
Hey, there it is.
I don't think it's a problem as long as it doesn't continuously happen, right? As long as it's all right, you know, fair, learned my lesson, had to cross the line to know where it was. Like, as long as it's that, I think it's actually good for the young player.
I will say this as well. Nick Scorton was also in the backfield. I actually initially thought on the play that it was Scorton that got there.
All right. Now we have an issue. Have I told you? Okay, this is...
You have an issue?
Here, you'll hear.
Okay.
Have I told you about PR Day?
PR Day?
PR Day, personal record day.
Okay.
There was a day I was playing golf, me, 3 buddies. We all hit our personal record. None of us were really talking to each other about it because we're all keeping our own scores. And game of honor, right? So trust us. And you don't want to say like, hey guys, like if I play bogey golf from here on out, it's my PR, right? So everybody was just keeping it to themselves. At the end, I was like, holy cow, that's the best round I've ever shot. Buddy that was in the cart was like, dude, me too. So then we started talking trash to the other cart. We're like, hey, this cart's putting PRs up. They're like, both of us too. We celebrated. Had a great time that night. You know what we should have thought of?
What?
Probably was just the easiest course we had ever played.
If fair.
All 4 of us had our PR. One guy getting to the quarterback, hey, might have made a good move. 2 guys get to the quarterback. Maybe a 3rd blitzer gets to the quarter. Maybe this offensive line didn't have their assignments lined up correctly. Rather than maybe exciting moves by the defense, it might have been maybe not the best protection if it is truly a meet at the quarterback moment.
Yeah, again, no pads. You know, you can take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah, those big guys up front.
Couple cracks of pepper.
Yeah, they do. They slap each other around pretty good. A lot of hand fighting and real. Anyway, but my point is, I like Princely Omamniel, and that does not thwart me at all. Another player that we heard from for the first time after a Panthers practice is Tershawn Wharton. Dennis, you gathered this audio, correct?
Yeah, it's myself and Chris Lee. It's going to be on Panthers Playbook full thing tomorrow, 7 a.m.
Go ahead and set it up for us. What clip do we have?
So Turk Wharton, we discussed with him earlier today about just kind of his thoughts on how he fits the defense, because obviously he was a big free agent signing. So here's his comments regarding not only how he fits the defense, but how the defense also fits his skill set.
Played it in college, but I played at the end position. So, now we changed a few things, and it's really kind of like I'm doing the same thing, but I could wreak havoc, just knowing what I did in the spring and went back and reviewed over the summer and did a few things to change my game. I think it fit me very well, I think the coaches believe in me here, and I'm just ready to continue to get going in training camp and show what I can do with this defense.
The Tershawn Wharton experience, right? And one of the things to note is every single team has higher expectations now than they did yesterday, right?
Yeah.
There's everyone looks good in shorts and a t-shirt. Tershawn Wharton, that dude carries his weight fantastically. He's one of those dudes that is like moving from outside to inside, because he said, I was a true defensive end, and he's now a bigger guy. Like the body fat, you see abs. Like, this is a big dude that carries it exceptionally well, which is good for what that defense needs those versatile defensive players to be able to do up front.
People hear tree trunk legs. I mean, this guy's like
sequoias.
Like sequoias. Like we're talking redwoods. I mean, I'm dead serious. As someone who just saw them out in California not long ago, I'm like, yeah, that's what those look like. He has that power built in. I think he's going to fit in really well with this defense. And he also gave us he gave us a little bit of, lack of a better term, the generic answer of like, we're all pushing each other to be better every single day, that kind of deal. And I just straight up asked him, what does that look like? Seriously, like, what does that look like that we don't see? And here's what Turk Wharton had to say regarding that.
Just continuing to review with each other, building that brotherhood with each other. If it's going to get dinner with each other, going to sit down with each other. If you having hard times at home, you should be able to come share that with your brothers. Just being able to be an open book to everyone, and then going out here every day and pushing each other to the best of their ability. And when something goes wrong, that we're not hanging our heads or talking down on each other, that we push each other up and bring each other up, and just leaving last year where it's at, it was a new year. So, training camp is one step, and that's a big step because you're out here with the offense and the defense, and that's who you compete against. It's not no other teams right now. It's just you and yours. So, going out there and making sure that we continue to compete, and when you get on the field, that the offense is going to do what they do, and your brother next to you on that defense is going to do his responsibility.
You know what that sounds like?
What's that?
Yeah, I know it wasn't this year, but that sounds like the championship glow. What I talk about with free agents, where like if you come from one of the best cultures in the league, win a championship, maybe a couple.
Yeah.
When you're as a free agent, your value is a little bit higher because teams just want you to bring that championship glow, that good culture with you. Like, what it's like inside the Chiefs locker room when you're winning, when you're going to the Super Bowl, when you're going to the AFC Championship every year. And then, all right, go sprinkle some of that pixie dust over the Carolina Panthers, will you? And I mean, I think it's sometimes overplayed, like the familial metaphor with a team. But when it works, it somehow doesn't come across as corny, right? When some guys are like, "Oh, that's my brother," I'm like, "Oh, cheesy." When some are like, "No, we got to work for," I don't know, it just works sometimes. Tershawn Wharton's one of those guys. When he says it, I believe it. So, it's might just be an inherent natural thing, but he's got it. So
yeah, I thought it was a pretty genuine answer. Like when we asked him that regarding again, holding each other accountable, I think is a big thing. Like, look, we all need to raise each other's standards. If you're not playing it to it today, I should call you out on it. But if I'm not doing it, you should be able to call me out on it too.
And by the way,
and not be upset by it.
Like, as far as iron sharpens iron, that defensive front, the defensive line, especially interior defensive line, even more. Like, that is where if he's trying to one up Derek Brown, and Derek Brown's trying to one up Bobby Brown, I know he's hurt, or Ashawn Robinson, and then he's trying to, like, if those are the ones that are trying to raise each other's game, I can go real high as far as quality of play.
Oh yeah,
that is a strength of the team, and it needs to be a strength of the team. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, from Charlotte for ACC Football Kickoff, presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Stanford. Which ESPN analyst and ACC Network analyst, this is a trivia question going into the break.
Okay.
An analyst that I believe most of you will know and be extremely familiar with. Which of them was, as one of their first jobs, a DJ at a roller rink in Cary, North Carolina?
Okay.
We'll interview that particular person coming up next right here on The Drive. Don't go anywhere.
The Adam Gold Show.
So what have I been telling you about this College Sports Commission? The idea that you could tell collectives that they're not allowed to pay players because there's no direct connection to something commercial was never going to work. They've just backed off of it. Yes, they are about to go, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess we can't do anything about it. So this is what's going to happen. The collectives still live.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
At Wells Fargo, we know what got you into your business. Whether it's manufacturing, running a restaurant, or your business from home. What you didn't get into your business for was banking. But luckily, Wells Fargo offers business checking, payments, and lending all in one place, in your neighborhood and on our app, so you can focus on doing what you love. Wells Fargo, you're good at business, we're good at business banking. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/business. Terms apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. The Sign and Save sales event is happening now at Clayton Homes and Oakwood Homes, but only through August 31st. You can save up to $5,000 instantly on your new home. That's $2,500 off a single section or $5,000 off a multi-section home. Discover the comfort, the style, and the value of a Clayton-built home, crafted with North Carolina in mind. From modern floor plans to energy-saving upgrades and premium finishes, there's a home fitting your lifestyle and, of course, your budget. And with summer heating up, it's the perfect time to enjoy Energy Smart features for year-round comfort and savings. Stop by, tour our fully furnished models, or visit manufacturedhomeoffers.com and browse limited-time deals. But don't wait. The Sign and Save sales event ends August 31st. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating retailers through 8/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
4th and 2. Parker gonna throw. Up in the pocket, he doesn't get it! Tech's gonna win the ACC title! Anthony Abunaway and Derek Morgan drop him!
We are back here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan at ACC Kickoff in Charlotte, where we will be all day today and tomorrow, getting you caught up as the ACC football season officially, unofficially kicks off, right? The practices will get going here in a little bit. And that familiar chuckle you just heard comes from the voice of the ACC Network and ESPN analyst, Wes Durham, joining us now. Wes, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I look to you as an authority on these things.
Oh, boy.
What's the right college football playoff? Just say it so we can all agree.
Oh, 5-11.
5-11?
Yeah,
that's it?
This whole automatic thing is – I got real issues.
Okay.
Number one, I think that and I'm looking at this in bigger picture, and I've been blessed to spend 20-plus years doing the NFL, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing about the National Football League is all 32 teams – a little bit this week, more next week, right? Reporting to camp, starting practices, and so forth. All 32 teams today think they have a chance.
Correct.
Right? And they've expanded the playoff appropriately. Teams get in. They're well watched. Super Bowls 3 straight years, over 100 million people digitally and linear broadcast. The college football playoff is a really nice event. They've done 12 one year. They want to go to 16. They're starting to jack it up a little bit. They're starting to mess with good, okay? You have to maintain, Tim, in my opinion, the American sporting public trust in the event being equitable, right? There's stuff about 4 schools. There's a reason Tony Petitti is standing on this island. It's because his league has only been good enough, I think, once in the last 7 years to have that many teams potentially in the playoffs.
Talk about the Big Ten.
The Big Ten, right. Greg Sankey, he was able to back off of it because he knows he's probably going to get 4, right? We got other things we need to work through besides automatic bids, right? Everybody needs to play, again, I'll refer to the NFL. Everybody needs to play the same basic schedule. 8 or 9 conference games. I don't care. Just play the same number. And then if you're going to play 9, then the 3 other games that you play need to be in the same formula as the rest of the other 3 leagues. It's not that hard. The other part about this before, and I'm a little unique to this one. You need to get the calendar fixed.
Are we talking moving the schedule up maybe a month?
You need to back it up
into
August, where week 0 becomes week 1. And here's why. The College Football Playoff Committee scheduled 3 on-campus games, right? 2 of them were played opposite the National Football League, and they got smoked in the ratings. The on-campus experience is phenomenal. But don't play opposite the National Football League. It's stupid. And it continues to be stupid. And they're doing it again this year. And if you thought and look who the NFL scheduled this year opposite the college football playoff. 2 more games that are hammers. Remember last year it was Ravens, Steelers, and Chiefs, Texans.
Yep.
And it doubled the college football playoff, tripled it, I think, with the Chiefs game. Why are we doing this? You want a television event. The reason you want to expand the field is more money from the television partner. Then why would you play the games opposite the National Football League?
This is why I set you up as an authority on the subject. It's all making too much sense at this point.
Right. And I don't understand why people can't figure that part out. Because here's the trouble that's working, and it's going to be a story in the National Football League through training camp. J.C. Treader, who's leaving the Players Association, said this yesterday. In 2031, they'll be playing 18 regular season games. In the NFL, they'll more than likely be playing them in 20 weeks. Okay?
Extra bye week as well.
Extra bye week because of the international schedule that's going to be created, where every team is going to go foreign country at some point during the year. You can schedule 16 games, and everybody goes once, right?
Yep.
Not hard to figure. And they've got international marketing rights for every team. Panthers have it. Falcons are going to Germany this year. Yep. That's their international market, so on and so forth. The college game needs to be mindful. They can't catch the National Football League. They're not going to catch them with dollars. They're not going to catch them with exposures. But they can have a fantastic event if they get the mentality out of their head of the NCAA basketball tournament. And that right now is the way that thing was built because Bill Hancock, who built the NCAA basketball, built the college football playoff.
That's Wes Durham, ACC Network ESPN analyst and the voice of the ACC. It's making a lot of sense.
I hope
there.
the next question is not firing me up like this one does.
Okay. Let's actually, you know what? This is more theoretical.
Okay.
What do you expect from the fanfare around Bill Belichick tomorrow when UNC shows up for ACC Media Day?
I like the fact the ACC has the 3 triangle schools and Clemson here on the last day. It ensures excellent coverage in North and South Carolina. Facts. I think Bill Belichick will be fascinating here. Our colleagues in this business will be challenged to ask good questions. And if they haven't figured that part out by now, they're going to be exposed on ACC Network tomorrow because the press conference will be televised. So if you ask a dumb question tomorrow, you're going to get exposed because you're going to identify yourself, tell us where you're from, the whole bit. You're going to ask the question, bang, it's going to be out there in front of God and everybody.
That kind of ups the stakes, though, right? It's like
ups the stakes for the colleagues in the industry, yes.
If you panic and throw out a bad question, it's almost like, well, all right, you got to be a little less difficult on the quarterback in the 2-minute drill. Because when your pressure got ratcheted up, you threw the big 6 that you can't throw.
So, look, I just say that in all honesty because you have to ask him a good question or you have to ask a question.
I have a backup question in case the person in front of you asks the question that you were thinking you were going to ask.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably where we would have all benefited from having Mike Reese and Tom Curran, who cover the Patriots as well as anybody in Boston, come down here and maybe give us a seminar. Look, I think he's going to be fascinating. I'm as curious about their makeup and competition in August, and I'm going to be there with Roddy Jones and EJ Manuel for the ACC Network Football Tour stop in a couple of weeks. So I'm excited to be able to see a little bit of a practice and visit with them and find out. Look, we're all going to talk about the quarterback. We'll probably talk to the quarterback about the quarterback till Labor Day night. I think they're going to be pretty good on defense, and people say, why? Well, his defenses have never been terrible no matter where he's coached, and I suspect that they will not be bad here. I think they're going to be pretty steady. For me, I'm also very interested to see what Freddie Kitchens does with their offensive platforms. You know what I mean by that. I think Jordan Shipp has a chance to be a big-time impact player in what they do offensively. If Freddie kind of stays with some of the things he did when he was head coach in Cleveland, we're talking about a lot of 11 personnel. Yep. We're talking about motion on snaps, things like that, which coincide with a lot of the Belichick platforms that he had with Josh McDaniels, I think. So I've kind of thought about this a little bit.
No, I'm right there with you.
And so you know what I mean. They are built for 11 personnel, right?
Very, very like traditional pro style move.
I think fullback becomes almost an H, right?
Yeah, the move back or move tight end is what they're calling now.
Yeah, and I would say that what we used to call the Y is still there, but it's only on down and distance situation. I think that's where Freddie Kitchens is going to live. And if so, Max Johnson able to return to the competition. Gio Lopez more of a dual threat guy. Tough guy when healthy. Got banged up a lot in the Sun Belt last year. That's a yellow light for me.
Okay. He's going to be here. He's on the attendees list.
Yeah, he's on the
if
list.
That's an indicator.
Yeah, and I think he was able to get there, take the snaps, be a part of spring the whole bit. Certainly he would be the inside guy. Max Johnson hadn't taken a snap since he got hurt at Minnesota. He's obviously throwing, though, because he puts it on social media. So I'm kind of curious as to how those wavelengths connect when Carolina goes to practice.
I was surprised in some of the rehab stuff on social media and going, wow, that's significantly better than I thought he was going to be at that point in time. Could just be, the 3 good reps he had that day, but it is a little interesting that he's putting it out there.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting for here tomorrow, but I think it's just a Dateline story for a day or two.
What's the next step for Duke? They go 9 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins. It feels like there's another level there, but they're like, what do they have to do to get there?
But it does feel like that, right?
Sure.
I think Illinois is going to be huge. Now the boys from Block E are there on opening night. My alma mater comes rolling into the Fable Horseshoe.
My brother went to UMass.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Phoenix.
The Phoenix are coming in. Tony Trisciani. We're going to be okay. Not sure that's our fight we need to, on opening night. I think they'll be very good on defense again. Amazing how consistent they've been now in 3 years with Mike Elko and now Manny, right? Tim, I'm also really curious as to how they rebound offensively. Thought Malik Murphy was more limited than I suspected a year ago. Hey, Darian, and watching Tulane play a little bit last year, he's going to be nice.
He's not limited as far as he can make all the throws, and if you need him with his legs, he's got the whole tool bag.
Yeah, he's got a big arm. I'm excited to see him. I think Duke's going to have a nice year. I really do. Clemson, Miami are my first two, and then I go through a sequence of 4 or 5 teams where I'm not sure.
All right.
And I move those teams up and down, and those are SMU, Louisville, Georgia Tech, Duke.
And then I would say after that group, there's another one down to like 14 where it's like you could mix up a bunch of those as well. There's kind of tiers in the ACC.
Yeah, the last 3, Stanford, Wake, Cal, some combination.
Yep.
Now, we'll caution, each of the last 4 years we've had a flyer who was like picked in the bottom half of the preseason and flew into like the top 5 receivers. So who's that flyer going to be this year?
If you know, let me know. Sports gambling's legal in North Carolina.
Well, I would offer you this. I don't have NC State down that line. I have NC State in that group that like SMU, Louisville, Georgia Tech, Duke.
Agreed.
For me, it could be Virginia.
Interesting.
I think Virginia has a chance to get off to a really good start and be really nice for Tony Ewing.
All right, I'm getting to wrap it up, but I want one more question.
Okay.
I don't know how I didn't know this, but I was on your Wikipedia this morning. You DJ'd at a roller rink in Apex in high school?
Cary, off Buck Jones Road at US 1.
Perfect. All right, you're throwing a party at the roller
Sports
rink.
World. It was called Sports World, and if you know, you know, and if you don't, you hadn't lived here very long.
I don't know how I didn't know this, but if you're throwing a party at the roller rink, you can bring 3 ACC coaches. Who are you bringing?
I'm bringing Brent Key for one.
There you go.
He's the
offensive line coach. Always a good time.
Known him since his freshman year in college. I got to bring him. I'm bringing Dave Dorn. Dave Goodtime.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing Dabo.
There you go. And what's the song that kicks it off?
Oh, if you want me to go back to Sports World, it could be White Lines by D-Train.
All right.
We used to play the 12-inch on Friday night for couple skate.
That's good. I like it. No, you don't have to dig any further if you don't want to. If you have another one on the tip of your tongue.
Can't remember that's when Michael Jackson's Thriller came out. We played the video twice a week. We played the video twice a night.
There you go. Wes Durham, ACC Network ESPN analyst.
So you didn't think I could call all the Buck Jones Road US 1?
I didn't know. I did. I don't know how I did.
Sports World on Buck Jones Road. I did it for about 3 months, and if you know, you know.
I thought I knew everything about your history, but apparently
high target zone for girls.
You still got some surprises in your pack of tricks there, Wes. We appreciate it.
See you guys.
Once again, that's Wes Durham, the voice of the ACC, and apparently the music orchestrator / DJ at Sports World for about 3 months back in the day. If you want a funny image, throw that one on. Brent Key, all offensive line coach. Dave Doran doesn't strike me as, skating backwards, with the legs crossing.
I could see Dave cutting a little rug. We can ask him about it tomorrow.
And then Dabo, those 3, along with Wes Durham playing the tunes at Sports World out there in Cary. If you need an image, there's one for you.
I think Dabo 100%. 100% see Dabo.
I could see Dabo being like bringing his own roller blades to the roller rink instead of the skates. You know what I'm talking about? 2x2. He has 4 in a line for speed.
Of course.
I don't know why. That's just the vibe I get from Dabo. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That obviously Wes Durham from right here at ACC Football. Kickoff presented by Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC, and Stanford. I want to take a few minutes here just to do some overall reaction to the day that was here at ACC Kickoff. The teams in attendance for today, Florida State, Georgia Tech. So Brent Key was here. Yeah, I don't think he was on skates. Louisville, Pittsburgh, Syracuse, and Wake Forest as far as teams from North Carolina. I'm going to start with Wake Forest. We talked with both their head coach, Jake Dickert, and their leading returning rusher, 1,000-yard rusher, in Claiborne, one of, if not the fastest running back in the country. Jake Dickert brings energy. And one of the few things that stood out to me, the differences between him and Dave Clawson, where Dave Clawson felt old school. They both, by the way, both of them, like from Central Casting football coach, just different archetypes, right? Different stereotypes. Dave Clawson, old school coach. Jake Dickert felt very new, but both of them could, captivate you. They could both do some recruiting. It made sense. But I do think Wake Forest is going to have a different energy under Jake Dickert than they had under Dave Clawson. The other side of it is talking to Claiborne. He's the leader for today. I'm not making him the leader, right? Every year, we've now done 2, at least for this version of the show, we've been on air about 2 years. We've done 2 ACC kickoffs for football and 2 ACC tip-offs for basketball. And it's become a tradition that after the last interview is done, we've recorded, everybody else is packing up around us. We kind of name who was the most magnetic, like what player walked in the room and everybody involuntarily just had to look and go, what's going on over there? And it's been Riley Leonard. It's been Cade Klubnik. It's been DJ Burns, right? It's been Armando Baycott. It's been guys, and usually they go on to have big seasons after being that magnetic person. Claiborne has some of that magnetic pull today. A running back, not the biggest dude, not the highest NFL draft prospect, but I think he's in for a big season just off of the quiet confidence he had and kind of the knowledge, which honestly may come from just being the fastest person in a room.
Yeah, I'd be pretty confident if I had blazing speed.
I don't. It's got to be one of those things, and I've talked about this a lot. There's only one sport where I would say 99.9999% of humans have done it, right? There's a pretty good chance that the best quarterback to ever live grew up thinking they were a bad cricket player. Like it's just they were born on the wrong continent and they don't play American football there. The best swimmer in the world may have been born in Nebraska and just never, didn't go in the deep end until they were in high school and never reached it. But speed is simply one of those things that, everybody at one point goes, I'll race you to the car, the tree, the sign. And if you win, you race the next guy. If you win, you race the next guy. I'm not kidding when I say Claiborne might be the fastest running back in the country. He had the fastest GPS time last year, or fastest GPS speed, highest miles per hour. And if you believe in ratings, College Football 26, the video game, he has the highest speed rating of every running back in the league. Any running back, any school, he has the highest speed rating. Maybe that's where the quiet confidence comes from. Just looking around and going, I feel like an MMA fighter would have the same thing in a room going like, I could beat up everybody here. He's just looking around going, yep, faster than all y'all.
I don't have to be fancy.
It's got to be empowering.
Just got to go.
It's got to be empowering.
No, he's not the biggest guy.
He's not.
He's really not, but
which is
if
part
no
of
one
why.
can catch you.
It's part of why. I mean, he had a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown against Miami last year, and then there were almost immediately rumors that Miami was trying to recruit him into the transfer portal on the field after the game.
Oh, I believe it.
That's a pretty good, again, all rumors, but that's a pretty good indication of you probably had a good game. The opposing team must be trying to poach him. Like that is good. So I'm impressed by what Wake has. I still think it's going to be a rough season for him as a whole.
Sure.
But I think Jake Dickert can be a guy that kind of lays the groundwork this year. And then Claiborne is a bright spot that can put up some highlights that will, play towards NFL draft prospects when it's all said and done.
I mean, let's be honest when it comes to Wake Forest. I mean, under Dave Clawson, they were consistently a good team. I'm talking like
avoid the basement.
7-8 win type team. Now they weren't obviously
and every
over the top.
4 or 5 years they'd have one of those years
Yeah,
where
10
you win
years.
double-digit wins.
I mean,
double-digit games.
They're, I think, the only team outside of Clemson that actually got to an ACC championship out of the Atlantic Division. Let's be serious here. So I know people will say, well, the Atlantic, you had to go through, Florida State and Clemson. I was like, well, Wake was able to break through one year.
Wake was really good for our arguments against Florida State. When Florida State was saying they needed money to compete with the biggest, baddest schools, and that's why they were suing. And I'm going like, you lose to Wake every year.
Yeah, exactly.
And they don't have as much money as you. They were really good for that under Dave Clawson.
They really were. And let's see what Coach Dickert can do in terms of just changing the perception of that school, a different style of offense and everything. I think he can elevate that program. Might take a couple years to get his guys in, but again, the energy that we saw from him, and the fact that Claiborne stayed.
Yes.
Is like you said, the rumors are floating around out there that Miami, after they played him, was like, hey, you want to come wear this uniform?
I'm not accusing anyone specifically because I don't have any information. I would nearly guarantee he heard from a whole bunch of teams without putting his name in the portal about potential transfers because of what we just said. He might be the fastest running back in the country.
Oh, yeah.
The people that have the money to spend would spend on that. So I there's no doubt. And by the way, like Desmond Reed, running back for Pitt, who was here today at his media breakout where he kind of did the whole press conference thing, he said he heard from 11 or 12 teams trying to convince him to transfer. And to my knowledge, his name was never in the portal. So, that's technically tampering. Although nobody seems to make a big deal about it. Other kind of vibes and feelings.
I wish schools would actually say who did it.
Yeah, instead of 11 or 12 teams, say these 11 teams at these dates at this time, and here's screenshots of the text messages. But I think everyone's worried about their own skeletons, that if they start calling people out, there will be maybe a text that they shouldn't have sent.
Yep.
Another thing about today, which is ironic, because I read the teams that are in attendance today: Florida State, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Pitt, Syracuse, Wake Forest. There is a Carolina blue cloud hanging over today of just, what is it going to be like? What Bill Belichick is going to be at a college conference media day tomorrow representing his school. What is that going to be like? Right? There's NFL media days or NFL owners meetings that he would just not go to. This is the guy that when COVID forced the drafts to go remote, and they had to have the coach and the GM on camera. Remember, they had the camera set up in their house, so when they were making picks, you could see them. Bill Belichick left the room. Bill Belichick put a dog on the chair and left the room. He really knows what that's going to be like. So it is a very interesting, very mysterious. There's a lot of hushed questions about what do you think is what is he going to do? How is this going to work? What's going on here? I don't. And the craziest part is everyone's asking the questions. Nobody has any answers for it, right? Nobody has any answers for. Well, this is what it's going to be like because it's never happened before. No coach has ever won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach and then gone back to college. It just doesn't happen. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up next, another player kind of similar to what we were saying about Claiborne. Not the biggest guy out there. Matter of fact, he's one of the smaller guys out there. His name is Malik Rutherford, and he has more catches in a single season this past year for Georgia Tech than any Georgia Tech wide receiver since Calvin Johnson back in 2006. We talked to him earlier today. That conversation's coming up next. Malik Rutherford joins us from here at ACC Kickoff in just a couple minutes.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Are the Detroit Lions really as close as we think they are?
Yeah, I think the Detroit Lions are right there. And I believe in the culture that head coach Dan Campbell has built in the Motor City. Yeah, I think the Detroit Lions are going to be right there again, vying for NFC supremacy. And I think this is one of the best teams in all of football.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. If you think I was off my game yesterday a little bit for the show, You can go into our the videos, the live streams, and you'll see why. I forgot to put on a watch yesterday, and it was like I didn't have my power. I didn't feel as swagged out as I could, because if you are into timepieces, if you are into watches, you know that it can set your whole mood, right? You show up in something like a G-Shock, which you can get at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location. It's a work day. You're ready to grind. You show up in a pre-owned or vintage Rolex. You're trying to impress. You want to make a statement. You show up with a Hamilton, military-inspired, American history of their company, maybe a pride thing in that respect, a patriotic thing in that respect. What your watch does can set the tone for your whole day. Don't be off. Go to Bailey's Fine Jewelry and the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. Follow them on Instagram as well. Fox and Bailey Watch Shop is the handle. You can direct message and communicate with one of their watch experts all in one place to make sure you find the watch of your dreams that makes you feel powerful. So again, every time you stop in at Fox and Bailey, make sure they know you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. And don't be like me and forget about your watch, because it'll annoy you all day.
Fill your tank. Don't drain your wallet. Sam's Club lets you save time at the pump with Scan and Go checkout at Sam's Club fuel stations. Just scan the QR code on the pump and pay. Visit your local Sam's Club today.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And here's a low throw that's grabbed by Rutherford, breaks through. Malik Rutherford sets sail, and a touchdown for Georgia Tech.
Welcome back into 99.9 The Fan, The Drive with Tim Donnelly. Joining us now here in Charlotte at ACC Kickoff, Malik Rutherford, Georgia Tech redshirt senior wide receiver, coming off a season in which he had the most catches by a Georgia Tech wide receiver since Calvin Johnson. May have heard of him back in 2006. Malik, appreciate you for joining us.
No problem.
My first question, my instinct is to go, where's your boy? You had a nice little 1-2 punch last year with Eric Singleton.
Yeah.
Now he's at Auburn. How is that to deal with when you guys had that kind of combo and now you're here by yourself?
I mean, of course it's tough, but at the end of the day, college football is a business now. So these guys go out there and make the best decision for themselves and their family. So I'm not mad at them or nothing like that. So I know how things are. So yeah, me and him, we still talk almost every day. So yeah, that's my guy.
College football is a business, right? Yeah. You said it. You go into the portal, come back out of the portal, staying at Georgia Tech. Was that a business decision? What led to the return? For
me personally, I feel like I should have never even tested the water to even go in the portal. I still beat myself up over that because I don't want that on my name. But at the end of the day, it was a decision I made. At the time, I felt like it was the right decision to make. But then end up talking to Coach Key again, and we rekindled things. And I've been committed to Georgia Tech since the end of my sophomore year in high school. So yeah, I was committed for real to this program since I was a young boy. So I was like, I might as well come back and finish what I started. I don't want to go nowhere else and just branch off. And the relationships I built here at Georgia Tech also, I didn't want to let go of those. So yeah.
Do you think maybe in modern college football the transfer portal is too easy? It's too quick hearing. Because even someone like yourself, you just mentioned that's like 8 years or something like that. You've been committed to Georgia Tech, and even you still considered it and threw your name in there.
Yeah. It's to each his own. Everyone, they use the portal for their own reason. So I've never blamed nobody for hopping in the portal because you never know someone's situation. You know, someone could be in a bad situation that they just don't want to speak on and let it go to the media. And then, down talk these programs like this. And after they, recruited you out of high school and things like that. So, yeah, it's to each his own.
We're talking with Malik Rutherford, Georgia Tech redshirt senior wide receiver. Malik, one of the things that stood out to me, obviously the statistics, right? 62 catches and all those things, but also 170 pounds. Yeah, right. Walking around here, you don't see many guys that size. How are you able to, especially at Georgia Tech, right? You got an offensive line coach as your head coach. Yeah. You're about physicality. How do you make it work at kind of your size?
Yeah, I have no option but to be physical. In practice, Coach McKnight, he hones in on us blocking. We got some days with drills. We don't do receiver drills. We do blocking drills. And, we have perimeter drill where we literally force the block. So, and then first off, I've always been a blocker since high school. Even like you can go look at my high school film. I got a couple blocking clips on those. And I was only like 35 pounds at that time. So, yeah, and then another thing about blocking, just protecting your teammate at the end of the day. So, and then when I get the ball, I want someone to block for me. So that's how I see it.
Now last year, along those lines, lead the conference in rushing.
Yeah.
As a wide receiver, you're looking at Jamal Haynes a little jealous, or like how does that work when obviously I play quarterback, you play wide receiver. We want to throw the ball, we want to sling it up and down, but you're running the ball so effectively.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, I'm really a team first guy. I'm not selfish at all. And Jamal, my boy, we actually came in the same recruiting class, 2021. Jamal, me and him was actually competing against each other for the we was competing for the third spot at the slot position. So yeah, and then 2 years ago, Jamal made the transition to running back. He rushed for 1,000 yards his first year at running back. So it was great for him, and I was very happy for Jamal because that's my boy. I hang out with him. Hang out with him almost every day. I still do. So yeah, I was very happy for him. There's no jealousy or nothing, hate in my heart. How much we run the ball. As long as we winning, I don't really care.
Malik Rutherford, Georgia Tech's redshirt senior wide receiver, connecting with us here in Charlotte. Speaking of those early years at Georgia Tech, there was another guy on that offense, Jahmyr Gibbs. Was it like? Are you surprised, or even did you see what he's doing to the NFL at that point in time?
Yeah, so my first fall camp with Jahmyr, all I heard was Jahmyr talk. Jahmyr. I'm like, damn, he gotta be this good. So we go in practice. They give him I think it was a stretch play. He did a crazy spin move. I'm like, oh yeah, he gonna be one of the ones. And yeah, I'm not surprised to see what he's doing right now. Like even when he transferred and went to Bama, I'm like, oh, he gonna for sure go first round now.
As somebody with some of that scat ability and movement, do you take things from it? What do you try to emulate?
I mean, it's hard to emulate what he's doing. I'm not gonna lie, moving that fast, being able to make cuts like that, spin moves like that at his size, it's just a great thing to see for a back like him. And I'm glad, he at a great organization right now who treating him real well. So yeah.
Go ahead and pull that mic up to your face just a little bit. Want to make sure we're hearing you good.
Yeah,
there you
we go.
I want to make sure we're hearing everything from Malik Rutherford of Georgia Tech that we can. I don't know if you saw this, and I don't even know if it would have been passed along to you, but ESPN is reporting your offensive coordinator, Buster Faulkner, agreed to a new 2-year, $1.5 million per season contract, which is the largest assistant contract in Georgia Tech history.
Yeah.
I know that, coaches sometimes aren't seen as the coolest people in the room. So now that he's got a little scratch, what's the first thing he should splurge on? What's the big purchase if he wants to up his swag?
I don't know what kind of car Coach Buster drive. That's the crazy thing. So I'll probably say get him a new whip.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say get him a new whip. But probably with Coach Buster, he probably he a family guy. He not really gonna do nothing too crazy with the money.
$1.5 million per. That's good for an assistant coach.
Yeah, that's real good.
And probably for the program a little bit of stability.
Yeah.
Last question. Speaking of stability and kind of the guys you rally behind.
Yeah.
We saw him walking around here earlier today. What is it about Haynes King that seems to everybody just wants to follow him? Like when we're even watching the games on TV, it seems like he's the guy that offense kind of gravitates towards.
Yeah, he's such a great leader. Haynes is a big part of us turning the Georgia Tech program around. So I feel like everybody hones in on him and just follow his lead because he never tells us wrong. And we know Haynes gonna go out there and give his 110 every single game, every single practice. So, if God's not following Haynes, who you following? I feel like it's just like Haynes want to win and I want to win. So why not follow him? He's a starting quarterback. So, and he's a great leader,
And it helps a little bit that he throws it to you so often,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'll make things a little easier for him. So, yeah.
Malik, we appreciate you for joining us. Good luck this season. Once again, that's Malik Rutherford, Georgia Tech redshirt senior wide receiver. I don't know if that's a saying that people say, and I just hadn't heard it. But when you're talking about a leader of your football team and one of your other leaders, a redshirt senior, says, if it's not God who you're following, you're following Haynes.
Okay.
That is a bar, I think, as the kids say.
It's an all-time quote.
That's a good one. And a huge compliment to Haynes King for obviously how he leads that team and how he gets the rest of Georgia Tech to follow. And Haynes is Malik touched on it there. I think he gets a lot of that by toughness, right? He runs, he does not slide. He takes hits and takes the injuries and boo-boos and owies that come with that and keeps plugging forward. And obviously guys like Malik notice that. And Malik brings a toughness in his own right? 170 pounds for a team that led the conference in rushing. You got to be out there throwing your body around, blocking, and probably a little bit more difficult for a guy of his size.
Yeah.
And I looked it up, by the way. He wasn't lying. I thought he was exaggerating because he was talking about in high school how much he weighed, and he said 135 pounds. I found a old roster when he was in high school where he was listed at 138 pounds.
Really? He was not a big guy.
And he ended up getting scholarships across multiple Power 5. Do you realize how good you have to be like 140 pounds and still getting colleges to take a chance on you? And he comes from, down in Florida where they have highly respected high school football, but still 138 pounds. But the other thing that stood out to me, and this is a hot button issue, is loyalty in college sports.
Mm-hmm.
He's the first one I've heard, and maybe I haven't just breezed through it. But he put his name in the transfer portal this year. And he told us, he goes, I every day I ask myself, why did I do that? I wish I didn't. And he talks about how he had been committed to Georgia Tech since his sophomore year of high school. He's now going into his redshirt senior year. You're looking at well over half a decade where he had been committed and invested in Georgia Tech. And, the transfer portal is an option. People use it or don't use it at their discretion. I think it might be a little too easy. I think it might be one of those deals where you should, people say this about saving money. If you're going to make a big expenditure, just take the cash that you would spend on it, put it in an envelope, set a timer, come back in a month. If you still want to make the purchase, then go ahead, right? Then it's like you actually want that. I feel like the transfer portal should be that. You should have to put your name in the portal today, and then 15 days later, come back in and register again. And if you don't put both of those in, then you don't get to go in the transfer portal. Because I wonder how many guys there are like that put their name in the portal and then not maybe immediately or a little bit later go, what was I thinking? I had it good. I liked it there. And then, maybe obviously for him it didn't happen, but maybe bridges are burned or whatever. If he had a more petty coach than Coach Key, or he was at a position of more depth, maybe they go, no, you put your name in the portal, get out of here. But he was able to come back, and now he gets to finish his career where he's been committed for 7-8 years of his life. And gets to see it through, which I think is very cool. And I think obviously it shows he is loyal to Georgia Tech, even if he had, a few moments of fleeting loyalty.
Yeah, and it's hard not to think about what else is out there. It passes through a lot of people's minds.
And Eric Singleton, who was kind of the 1A, 1B with Rutherford last year as pass catchers for Georgia Tech, hit the portal and is one of the biggest impact transfers at Auburn right now. He's being highly projected. I'm sure he made a pretty penny. And I'm sure you see that and you go, well, if my guy is leaving, maybe I should think about it too. And then you get in the portal, you're like, whoa, what did I do?
Yeah, but it's also, I commend him for going you know what, that was a mistake. I'm going to go back. But also he probably look at it as well going you know what? My running mate's gone. I'm the guy now.
There's a few extra targets out there.
Exactly. I'm I get to eat more.
Yeah. No 1A, 1B.
Yeah, so guess what? Yeah, no 1A. It's just one, and I'm one.
He had 62 catches last year, the most since Calvin Johnson for a Georgia Tech receiver since 2006. I think I read Calvin had 76.
Yeah.
Maybe without Singleton, you pick up an extra 15 catches, all of a sudden You're erasing Calvin Johnson
Calvin
from the record
who?
book.
Calvin who?
Megatron who?
Yeah.
That's one of the. If you're doing that, you're doing something right.
Call me Starscream. Let's go.
The drive with there you go. The drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, you have something you want to tell the people.
I do. Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, you maybe maxed out on credit cards. Maybe you're struggling with high interest debt. You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. There was one client recently for Loan Pronto that just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. It's a massive turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Here's the thing, folks. As a homeowner, your home equity, it's yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much you can get today. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The starting five is coming up next. We'll start with audio from who is quickly becoming everybody's favorite Carolina Panther. Big offseason for Xavier Legette. We have audio next.
Move your sports day forward.
I've got a nickname for the Carolina Panthers defense this preseason, the Donut D. A big hole in the middle now that linebacker Josie Jewell got his release and Shaq Thompson was cut months ago. If Ejiro Evero gets this D shaped up in time for the regular season and finds a way to stop second-level runs, he gets a medal and a contract extension.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same-game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back. That one going. Gone.
Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
And WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. Mostly sunny skies out there today. Temperatures close to normal with highs in the low 90s. Overnight tonight, it's partly cloudy with a low temperature of 72. A few clouds around Thursday with a high of 93, but the humidity climbs. And then we are back to some dangerous heat Friday that will continue all the way through the weekend.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money at the closing bell. Dow Jones closes the day up 507 points at 44,100.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are here from ACC Kickoff, where the ACC football season kind of officially gets underway, although no cleats or pads or helmets or anything along those lines. It's just the coaches and players setting the narrative straight as they head into their season, and we'll continue to talk to players and coaches later today's show and darn near all of tomorrow's show. It should be an electric day tomorrow for sure. NC State, Duke, Carolina, Clemson, all will be funneling through. Hopefully Carolina, actually, I should say, will be funneling through. We still don't know exactly the media schedule for the Tar Heels, but everybody else, Boston College, a few miscellaneous analysts, should be a fun one. ACC Football Kickoff is presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Stanford. And with that being said, it's time for the starting 5, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Off the play fake, Herbert to throw. Herbert looking to the near sideline. Herbert's under pressure. He breaks away from Clowney, throws on the run, intercepted! J.C. Horn at the 40-yard line.
It's not just ACC Kickoff week here in Charlotte. It is also first practice day for the Carolina Panthers in training camp. We have some audio from Xavier Legette, as promised, and we will play it for you. But first, Dennis, you were in attendance.
I was.
For day one of training camp. What were your biggest takeaways?
2 big takeaways. One, seeing the wide receiving core together as a whole, with McMillan being healthy, with Jimmy Horn Jr. being healthy as well. We didn't see them completely during minicamp in June. There is a diverse skill set among the wide receivers, and including, I'll throw tight ends in there as well. Like amongst the receiving group, there's a pretty diverse group of skill players, which I think is going to only add to the offense and elevate Bryce Young and just the offense as a whole, because now you have the length, you have the speed, you have the guys that can work intermediate and short routes, like all kind of combining together. I think that's going to just pay dividends in the long run this season as it goes along.
It's even noticeable just in their like physical makeups.
Yeah, exactly. That's
like,
what I mean.
You have a lanky, tall Teteroa McMillan. Jalen Coker's a big wide receiver, but it doesn't come across as lanky for some reason.
No,
maybe
he's
a little bit heavier. Renfro is notoriously a smaller slot receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You put him next to a Xavier Legette, that is a very different beast. That's the Ferrari 4.39 runner.
And Jimmy Horn Jr.'s got pop. Like, he's got speed. Like, he's not a big guy, but he has some speed.
Which is good for the variety of things you can do at wide receiver, but it does add an even further emphasis on Bryce has to know how all those guys run.
Exactly.
Right? Like a 7-step skinny post for Hunter Renfro is very different than a 7-step skinny post from Teteroa McMillan.
For sure.
Is very different from I could just list all the receivers there. It adds to the need for chemistry in the passing game. What was your second observation? You said you had 2?
The second one, on the defensive side of the ball, they beefed up that defensive front. Like, just physically the size. I was talking to a couple of people in the organization actually today about one of the low-key additions this offseason. I know Trayvon Merritt got a ton of attention. Tershawn Wharton got a ton of attention. The draft picks all got a lot of attention. But the signing of Bobby Brown from L.A., who has familiarity with Ejiro Evero, who's also only 24 years old and still has room to grow and develop as a player, and then obviously drafting Cam Jackson in the 5th round out of Florida. If you're going to run a true 3-4 defense, you need a true nose tackle that can help stop the run. And this is the exact reason why those 2 guys were brought in this offseason. A lot of people were saying that Bobby Brown signing, you're not going to see crazy stats. You're not going to see crazy numbers, but you're not going to see the defensive line get pushed back 3-4 yards like we saw pretty much all of last year. And it's going to make a massive difference because it'll only help free up Derek Brown coming back healthy, A'Shawn Robinson, Tershawn Wharton, and then whoever's playing at linebacker behind those guys, whether it's Christian Roseboom, Trevin Wallace, it's only going to help those guys so much more.
And Bobby Brown, I believe, was put on the active non-football injury list today.
He was. It's a slight hamstring injury, but I think he'll be good to go probably in about a week or so.
All right. And it is funny because we talked with Darrell Jackson Jr. Matter of fact, that conversation is going to come up later this hour for you, who's a defensive tackle for Florida State. I think he's listed at 6'5", 340. And one of the thoughts I had while he was answering a question was, I bet you'd fit in with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Just, 6'5", 340 sounds like what they're looking for. He's just a big guy, and there's a whole bunch of them with the Panthers.
Massive human being. The energy, speaking of Tershawn Wharton, just watching him in practice today, I know we got a chance to talk to him for Panthers Playbook, which drops tomorrow. There's an energy about him. Actually, Dave Canales called him, referred to him as Energizer Bunny, which I thought was really cool. He's kind of an Energizer Bunny, and he definitely brings that element of winning culture that he brings from the Kansas City Chiefs. The guy just knows what it's like to be on a winning team.
All right, everybody. I know you're waiting for it. I promised Xavier Legette audio. Xavier Legette, the second-year wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers, and his thoughts on day one of training camp.
Oh, man, I'm not going to lie, man. It's a different energy in this building, man. The whole organization, I feel like, man, today it was good energy for the first day, man. Well, we came out here made some plays. Younger guys came out here made some plays, and the young guys, they looking good.
He's optimistic. He's happy. By the way, shout out to Pat Welter and Chris Lee of WRAL, our colleagues over there, for getting the audio from Xavier Legette. I have a feeling Xavier Legette is the kind of guy who, he finds silver linings. He's an optimistic individual. So I had no doubt that on day one of training camp, when everyone's optimistic, he was going to think they had a great day. It's also, he's coming at the end of I don't even know what to call it, like a glow-up summer or a fame summer for him. He was just off the top of my head, he was up against the Glass of the Canes playoff game.
Yep.
He was
in a music video.
He was the NFL social correspondent at the Kentucky Derby.
Yep.
He was on the album cover and in the video for a Glorilla hip-hop track.
Yep.
And that's on top of all the other just general viral moments he has with his horses and with everything else he has going on. So Xavier Legette was asked about that kind of the fame and buzzworthy summer that he had before training camp started. Here is Xavier Legette.
Well, man, everything that I've been doing, man, it's been great, man. I guess it's good for folks to be able to see my personality, I guess. But I'm just being me, man. So it's me. And I ain't gonna get nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't gonna get nothing else.
Love that guy.
I don't think there's anything else to say.
Love that guy.
Go ahead. You got something.
By the way, real quick, he did have surgery on his foot in the offseason. He looks a step faster. Like it's not bothering him, which is a big thing because he needs to have a massive second year.
Needs to have a big year, and even if he doesn't have a 1,000-yard season or whatever you're hoping for, they need someone to take the top off of defense. They need someone to make safeties turn and run because Tedero McMillan, Adam Thielen, Jatavian Sanders, so many of the other guys work so well on deep crossers and over the middle stuff. If safeties creep down to try to jump some of those routes, you need somebody that can beat you over the top.
Yeah.
And the only person I believe that's under 4.5 in the 40, maybe Jimmy Horn Jr. I don't know his off the top of my head. But I also don't know how much he'll be in the rotation as a wide receiver. I think he'll impact as a kick returner. Of the kind of the main core, the only one under 4.5 is Xavier Legette. He's 4.39.
Mm-hmm.
So the speed comes from him. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Clearing up some news and notes around the NFL because it's not just training camp day here in Carolina. Training camps are opening all across the country. I just saw this. Trey Hendrickson of the Bengals, sack leader a season ago, is officially on the reserve did not report list. So his holdout will extend for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
Joe Mixon, former Bengal, member of the Texans now, is on the non-football injury list, reportedly an ankle. With Dameon Pierce already out, that means who's one of the only healthy running backs for the Texans.
Yeah, who's that?
Nick Chubb.
Oh, there you go.
When has he been the healthy guy recently? And also Woody Marks, 4th-round pick out of USC. NC State fans, I don't know how this will make you feel, kind of those of you that are up and down on the individual. Russell Wilson, Brian Dable, the head coach of the Giants, said he will be the starter for the Giants. He also said the other guys are competing, but Russell is the starter. I feel like that means the competition's over.
Yeah.
But they have Jameis Winston and Jackson Dart, their 1st-round pick, on the roster. But it appears as if it's pretty set in stone. Russell Wilson will be getting the first go at it.
Also, Nyheim Hines signed with the Chargers.
Nyheim Hines signed with the Chargers.
They will come back after missing
former
last
NC
year.
State player dealing with a injury that he suffered on a jet ski the last couple of years.
Yeah. Garner High School, local kid to the area.
And stud, one of the cooler moments in football history.
Yeah.
The Bills, who had their previous game ended early because of the DeMar Hamlin situation. Obviously, one of their teammates had his heart stopped on the field and all the very serious deal. Nyheim Hines returned the next kick of the next week for a touchdown, and then returned another kick for a touchdown later in the game, like not a dry eye in the house. So he is on the Chargers. We'll see what that means about Najee Harris's availability. He had a firework mishap, and it's superficial eye injury is what they're calling it. But Jim Harbaugh said they're not sure he's going to be back for training camp at all. So Nyheim Hines may have just gone from like on the street to Omarion Hampton, UNC first-round pick running back, and then it's Kamani Vidal or it's Nyheim Hines. It's a different depth chart without Najee Harris.
Yeah, there's a pipeline, I guess, of local running backs in recent years to the Chargers because Larry Roundtree, who went to Millbrook High School, played at Missouri, had a cup of coffee with the Chargers. Now Nyheim Hines, Omarion Hampton, like guys from the Triangle. Finding the way out to LA, playing for the Chargers if you're a running back.
The magnetic lights of Hollywood. And just in the Panthers division, quickly for you, the first day of training camp for the Saints, Spencer Rattler took the reps with the ones.
Oh, there you go. That's
but it has
shaking now.
It has been made known that it's an alternate deal. Tyler Shuck will be taking the first team reps for their next practice, and then it will be Rattler. They are still in a competition. And their advanced analytics during OTAs and minicamps were nearly identical. So dead heat for Kellen Moore and the squad over there with the New Orleans Saints in their quarterback competition. That is number 4. Let's head to number 3.
On third down, shovel pass. Hampton here. Look at the room he has to run. Inside the 20, still on his feet. He'll score.
The North Carolina Tar Heels have sold every possible ticket they can sell with for this football season. They have sold out completely. They had previously sold out their season tickets, but this is the earliest that the Tar Heels have sold every ticket for, obviously, their home games for their football season. I think it's fair to say the Belichick effect is rolling, is
real,
impactful, and it is real, and it is spectacular. I have to kind of bring this up.
Okay.
I have a quote here from Pittsburgh's coach, Pat Narduzzi.
Oh, Pat Narduzzi.
Earlier today. He was quoted, and this is straight from a tweet from Brian Murphy, although it was in the press conference room, just a couple steps from where we're sitting.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Murphy tweets, Pitt coach Pat Narduzzi on UNC and Belichick. I expect them to be in the championship game against Pitt this year.
Okay.
You got Bill Belichick. You better be, right?
Apparently that drew some chuckles like it did me.
Oh, I guarantee you it doesn't. And Narduzzi's never been afraid of ruffling feathers a bit.
No, he's not. Okay, so he's calling it Pitt, North Carolina this year. He's calling
Pitt, He called Pitt and then said, with Bill Belichick, you better, right?
Yeah.
You better be, right?
Okay.
It is an interesting little tactic of almost – it's making it almost a lose-lose for Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, if they make it to the ACC championship this year, that is an unbelievable coaching job, transfer portal job, scheme. Like, it is an unbelievable job by UNC. And Pat Narduzzi is setting people up to go, yeah, they're supposed to, right? It's Bill Belichick. It's almost making it so, like, if you completely overexceed expectations, meh. Meanwhile, if you win 8 games, which I still think would be a solid season for them,
for sure,
it's going to feel like a huge underwhelming move or underselling it because Pat Narduzzi told you that he should be in the ACC championship game. It's a little gamesmanship from Narduzzi there,
a little bit,
even if he's trying to be funny. But also, I do think that kind of plays into the Belichick effect of, a coach in the ACC, in the conference, established, has been around a while. Narduzzi's not new to this, was talking about UNC's head coach at his media availability at ACC Kickoff.
Well, he probably was asked about it in some way.
That's not a coach speak answer. That's leaning into, what he knows and we all know is going to be a huge story tomorrow on what Bill Belichick says and what he does and who he speaks to here at ACC Kickoff.
I mean, what I'm hearing is from Pat Narduzzi that he expects Pitt versus North Carolina ACC championship game in Charlotte, right down the road at Bank of America Stadium from where we sit right now in Uptown Charlotte.
And if that happens, go Tar Heels, I guess. Because if you're going to make that call out and then you're going to have to answer for it, I'm all for trash talk, but then you got to back it up on the field. But Tar Heels sold out every single football ticket earlier than they've ever done so. People are showing up to watch the coach, I guess. We don't even know who the quarterback's going to be, although Gio Lopez will be in attendance tomorrow. That's usually a good indicator.
We're trying to schedule stuff with North Carolina. Let's just say it's hasn't been an easy process, not just for us, but for everyone.
And we'll be accommodating if they show up and say we got time, as long as we don't already have something scheduled, we'll make time for them. But just so everybody knows, we will talk to a whole bunch of players and coaches from Duke, from State, from Clemson. We'll talk with Boston College. We'll get some analysts. Like we'll still be cranking it out, even if again Carolina's been a little bit more difficult to schedule with. As number 3, let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us. Claiborne in the backfield gets a handoff. He will find the end zone. A pair of 4th down conversions on the drive for Wake Forest, and it's cashed in at the end on the run by Claiborne.
So it's if I had, and I don't, although maybe influence is power. If I had any power over the setup and the format for the college football playoff,
okay,
I'd be pretty annoyed that every coach is going around just screaming about what they think I should do and telling all the wrong ways that it's been done. But no bad ideas. Everybody bring it to the table. Dan Lanning, head coach of Oregon, is advocating for a tweak to the college football playoff setup.
Okay.
That would have significantly less time between playoffs and regular season.
Okay with that.
And could potentially have the season over by January 1st.
I'm okay with that.
I've been on this kick for a while, and I actually hat tip to Dave Doran because he's the first that said it.
Mm-hmm.
But Dan Lanning brings up an interesting little wrinkle here, which is I believe Oregon went something like 28 days between their last game and the game they lost in the college football playoff. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, because there's the bye week and then the second bye week. Yeah, it's pretty stupid. That's what it is. It's stupid.
And if you get the bye, it's too long. So shorten that up and then mix in the Dave Doran idea, which I had tip. He's the one first I heard it, and literally move the entire football season up on the schedule to start it. So, they're practicing now and games start 2 weeks earlier, which means you have more games without NFL regular season competition. And you finish the whole season on December 31st or January 1st. You can make your pick.
Yeah.
And then for transfer portal, it's so much easier. You won't have anyone opt out of the CFP because they have to get enrolled by second semester time at their next school, which doesn't usually affect starters. But we saw Penn State had a backup quarterback leave when they were still alive in the CFP. And he was actually a backup quarterback that they used for like running packages and things.
Mm-hmm.
And he left because, he wanted to get to his new school where he would hopefully be used as not just a gadget kind of, running package quarterback. But if he could play out the entire Penn State season and then transfer and still be there for the next semester, he wouldn't have to make that decision.
Yeah.
So, Dan Lanning has said a lot of things I agree and don't agree with. This happens to be one of the ones I agree with.
And like you said, Dave Doran was saying this
similar
months ago.
Just
months ago.
A little tweak.
Last year.
Yeah, and Dave Doran is right.
Yeah, I'm with it. And then here's the thing as well is that if for college football, I know coaches will probably like this, you have just one transfer window.
It would be from the day after the college football playoff.
Yeah.
And it would be open for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Or
to
like
put your name in
a week before, just in case, you never know. But like really only impacting 2 teams, maybe.
Or
but they can still play.
Maybe they'll get another week on the other side.
Exactly, and then you make your transfer window for college football in that time frame, and then you don't even have to work, and don't even do a spring transfer portal. And don't even do a spring one. Don't make 2 because college basketball only has 1. Just keep it 1 for football too.
And
it's the same.
Now we're in the same trap I was in earlier talking with Wes Durham, which. Great interview, by the way. Check it out on our YouTube, where he was going into, and make sure you don't on the day of go up against a Steelers-Ravens game.
Don't do that
because on, especially when those college football, the playoff games were on campuses. He's going. That's the secret sauce of college. You get the magic of being on campus, being in a home field, and nobody watched it because you went up against the Chiefs and the Texans. Play it on whatever day you have to not go up against the NFL. Play it a bit earlier in the schedule and get it done by January 1st. But I worry we're making too much sense, so we have to move on.
That's true.
So let's get to number one.
Go one!
Our ACC football kickoff is presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Stanford. We've spoken, and I've already aired a bunch of interviews today where we gathered them here at ACC Kickoff. Few I want to highlight. We actually just did the Wes Durham one, so shout out to Wes Durham and his former DJ at a roller rink self. Jake Dickert, Damon Claiborne, the Wake Forest contingent. Jake Dickert, head coach, Damon Claiborne, running back. One of the themes, I guess, and actually it goes along with Malik Rutherford, a Georgia Tech wide receiver we spoke to, and even Darrell Jackson, Jr., who we're going to speak to in a little bit, or air the conversation a little bit, Florida State. What people are maybe a little too negative about with the transfer portal is I think guys want to go and want to stay where they know it's right.
Yeah.
Where it fits, where it's best for them. And I'm going to use the three players we spoke to that I just referenced as an example. Damon Claiborne, fastest GPS or highest GPS mile per hour of any player in the country last season. That's any player, not ACC, not running back. Every player, every position, every school. Fastest. That guy could have gone anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And if not anywhere, remove 10 schools that have like an All-American running back. And anywhere else, he would have been able to go.
Coaches would find a spot for him.
For somebody that fast and good. Like, it's not just a speed thing. And even with a coaching change after his junior year, he stayed at Wake Forest. And I spoke to both his coach, Jake Dickert, the new coach, and Claiborne about it. And it turns out Wake Forest is just the right place for him.
Yeah.
He'd been there 3 years. He had established relationships. He likes the area. It fit his vibe. He didn't want to go try to break the bank in NIL and in the transfer portal. He just found the right spot for him. Malik Rutherford, Georgia Tech wide receiver, went into the transfer portal this year, came out. I talked to him about it. And his thing was, man, I kick myself every day. And I'm paraphrasing, but not by much. I kick myself every day that I even put my name in the transfer portal. I'd been committed to Georgia Tech since I was a sophomore in high school. I'm going into my redshirt senior year. Like, I'm committed to Georgia Tech. What was I thinking? And again, that's one way to find out, right? Sometimes, you got to break up with your significant other to go, oh no, what did I do? And go try to win him back. He didn't have to win him back. They were trying to win him back because he's that good. But goes back to Georgia Tech, he's going to, be a one-team player and be loyal to Georgia Tech probably for life. And then there's Darrell Jackson Jr., who took a very different path. He goes to Maryland straight out of high school. Then he transfers to Miami. Then he's in that weird section between the transfer portal opening and unlimited transfers being allowed. So he uses a second transfer to go to Florida State and actually has to sit out a year.
Yeah, sat out 2023.
But is willing to do that to go to Florida State. Now he's going into his third year on campus at Florida State. And I asked him, what was it about Florida State that made you finally want to put down roots that these other places didn't? And he said, man, it's been my dream school since I was a kid. I love it here. It's home. So you could say the first half of his college career was what everyone hates about transfer portal. One school, 1 year, now the next school, the next year. But then he got to the right spot, was willing to sit out a year for it, put down roots, and now after a 2-10 season, he's got the floor. He's the one, telling the media, "This is still Florida State. Don't let 1 year, define us," and all of that. It's the transfer portal isn't just about leaving spots because you're whining about competition. Sometimes you just got to find the right spot for you.
Yeah.
And if you do, you can, like I said, plant some roots there. But it is I get it. It's frustrating. And sometimes it's confusing when we interview a player in one jersey here this year, and then next year they're wearing a different jersey coming through, talking about how excited they are about this new setup. But, it's adults get to make decisions on what they do. And it happens, right? We've seen players here for multiple schools in back-to-back years, and I don't fault them for it, even if sometimes I'm like, don't you wish you want to see that one through? But who am I to tell them that? That's the starting five here on the Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. From here in Charlotte for ACC Football Kickoff, where we'll be also tomorrow, bringing you news from players and coaches. We have more Panthers sound because it was also day one of training camp for the Carolina Panthers coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio. WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Well, man, everything that I've been doing, man, it's been great, man. I guess it's good for folks to be able to see my personality, I guess. But I'm just being me, man, so it's me. It ain't gonna get nothing else, you know what I'm saying?
That's what it sounded like after Carolina Panthers training camp practice number 1. Talking with Xavier Leggett, first-round pick from a year ago, looking to build off of a potentially injury-saddled but underwhelming rookie year, a little under 500 yards receiving for Xavier Leggett. So I hope, right, if it's just him and that's what you're going to get, I hope the him that Xavier Leggett is 1,000 yards receiving and 8 or 9 touchdowns.
I love that.
That's what I'm hoping
on like
for.
72 catches.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, you know, tensions on Tedero McMillan, the 8th overall pick in this year's draft. He's going to be sliding under the radar and into the open spaces. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, continues our coverage from ACC Football Kickoff, presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Stanford, here in Charlotte. But it is also the first day of Panthers training camp, and many of the newsmakers that will decide if this is a good or bad season for the Carolina Panthers spoke after practice, and one of them was J.C. Horn, and he described the kind of what he wants the Panthers to be in an interesting way. Here's the audio from J.C. Horn.
You know, that's just mentality, how this team is going to be branded. You know, a physical football team where win, lose, or draw, you know, like when you go in there and see the Panthers, it's going to be a physical football game. You're going to be hurting afterwards. And that's just the attitude we got to have, and that's got to be our brand of football when we travel and play.
Here's the awesomeness and also maybe the opposite of a silver lining on that. there's no doubt in my mind the Carolina Panthers defense will be wildly physical.
Oh, yeah.
I am a little concerned about the finesse portion of playing defense in the NFL. And what I mean by that is J.C. Horn, by the way, third highest paid defensive back in the history of the NFL, signed a big, fat 4-year, $100 million contract this offseason. He's one of the best tackling corners in the league. He's not just ankle biting. He's not trying to, wait for you to pass him so he can chase you down and drag you down. Like, he is a tackler. Trevon Merrick, the safety that they spent $17 million per year on, 3 years, $51 million from the Raiders. One of the best come down and help make tackle safeties in the league. He can come down into the box and stop the run like a linebacker. If you look at the front seven as far as the defensive linemen, big dudes.
Yeah, they beefed up.
I imagine, right, that, like, I don't know, do they still do this in high school where you do squats for charity, and it's like every pound in your max is like $1 pledged from some local business? No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I've heard of it, but
okay.
my high school never did it. But I could see that being a thing.
I imagine the Panthers would raise a lot of money.
Yeah,
those guys are putting a lot of plates on the bar.
Turk Wharton himself.
And driving out of the hole. I have no doubt in my mind they're going to be extremely physical. They're going to be good against the run. Teams will not enjoy playing against them in the way you don't enjoy like a boxing match, right? Even if you do it and it's your job, you're still going to be out there going, geez, I got punched in the face a lot today. The questions I have defensively are, can they stop the pass?
Yeah.
When another team has a fast guy that runs crisp routes, how are they going to cover that? Who's going to have the free safety, reading of the field, breaking on the ball hawk plays? That's what I'm more concerned about. There's no doubt in my mind you play against the Panthers, you're going to leave with some bruises. The question is, you're going to leave with the bruises and 300 yards passing, or are you going to leave with the bruises and potentially a loss that the Panthers just handed you?
That's a major question mark. As you mentioned J.C. Horn, who has an injury history, a very long one. Unfortunately, whether it's by accident or whatever it might be,
durability is a whole other beast. I didn't even bring that up.
And then once you get past him, Mike Jackson, Shaw Smith-Wade, it gets real thin. Now they have Shamar Bartholomew, who was a rookie last year that they made a waiver claim on from the New York Jets. I actually found this out today. He had the most waiver claims across the entire NFL on first cutdown day. So he had the most waiver claims of anyone that got cut at the first cutdown last year. Shamar Bartholomew had the most. The Panthers just had first priority because they had that number one waiver claim. So he was still adjusting and learning the defense as the season was going along, so you didn't really see him a whole lot. But they also knew if they tried to put him down on the practice squad, that he likely was going to get picked up by another team. So they held on to him. So they feel good about his upside as a backup. But again, you don't know who your free safety is going to be. A lot of people are really feeling good about Lathan Ransom. Like, Lathan Ransom might even be the guy that might eventually take over as free safety. Stamani Richardson's right now to lose. There still could be a move that could be made, but there's still question marks in the back end. But if the defensive front is good enough, it could mask some of those problems, at least for a little while.
And I think that's why part of me is probably talking myself into Princely, Umanmielen, and Nick Scorton so much, because you're right. I mean, if they can do the finesse part of edge rushing, right? Hand fight, win with speed, bend the corner, not just, set an edge and stop the run. If they can do those sorts of things, get after the quarterback, it makes it much easier for the guys on the back end.
For sure.
Bryce Young also spoke to the media after the practice today. And the one thing, Bryce has dealt with a lot, right? Okay, there's no, tiny violins being played for Bryce Young today. He's the number one overall pick. He gets highly compensated. But the amount of play caller switches, the amount of coaching switches, he actually bumped into Frank Reich in Carolina yesterday in Charlotte because Frank Reich was here for ACC Kickoff. And they just happened to be kind of in the same part of town. So they chopped it up. There's a lot of questions for Bryce Young that he's had to deal with. But this is, he's going into the second year now in the same offense, a little bit of continuity. Voice in his helmet is going to be the same voice. And Bryce Young talked about if he feels that continuity under head coach and obviously offensive mastermind Dave Canales.
Yeah, I think all of us as a team, having a year last year and then going into this year of just buying into the culture, buying into Coach's message, buying into everything that he presents to us on a day-to-day basis. We've already bought in, and now it's just making it our own, and that's something that Coach always stresses, which is big for us. We've had that experience now, so obviously having the same coaching staff with just who this coaching staff is, we're super grateful for them to be here, what they bring. So, we have a lot of work to do, but we're grateful for it.
I think the continuity is important, and it builds back into. I feel like a coach here, right? Jake Dickert of Wake Forest had built in the dark, right? Coaches have their little phrases, their core tenets that the program is built on. I feel like the way I talk about NFL is built on some core tenets, and one of them is the 4 horsemen of the franchise, right? Mm-hmm. Quarterback, coach, GM, owner have to completely and totally trust each other, and that includes on-field, in-game, in-play, head coach, quarterback need to be in alignment, and Bryce Young seems to be getting better at understanding what Dave Canales is looking for. Let's hear from the other side. Dave Canales was asked about the advantage of having your quarterback, Bryce Young in this case, familiar with your system going into preseason.
Yeah, it just really, having guys being in the system now for a while just gives us a chance to continue to push on the most important parts of it, the effort part of what we're trying to get. A lot of times when you have a bunch of people thinking, the whole thing kind of slows down a little. It's very mechanical, very methodical. And what I'm feeling out here are guys who understand what we're doing. And I can always tell by the speed of play. The faster we're playing, the more I know they understand what we're doing and where they need to be on any given, whether it's defense, offense, or special teams. So I really feel that jump with this whole group.
I'll take it one step further. I think how much you trust and how much you believe your quarterback knows your system actually impacts the way you see things that are happening in front of you. And I have a funny story about this. I was a backup quarterback in college, and starter got hurt for whatever reason. I forget. Who knows? But I was into the game, and one of my buddies who actually his career ended for concussions became a student assistant.
Okay.
So now he's on the headset. College, like the quarterback at the time, the quarterback on the field didn't have the headset, but he was on the headset signaling in plays, so he could hear everything the coaches were talking about, which is dangerous, right? To have like a really good friend of the quarterback be the only guy that can hear what the coaches are saying when the coaches don't think the quarterback is listening. Sometimes he told me later on the mean things they were saying, but he did a good job. But at one point, so I'm into the game, and there's a play that's wired, right? The coaches know defense is going to fall for it. And the coordinator didn't trust me to do it, right? He's a backup. He hasn't run in practice. I don't know if he's going to make the read, and he's not ready. We'll talk to him at halftime. Maybe we'll do it after. And the wide receiver coach, one of my advocates, was like, no, call it. He'll do it. Call it. Like, boom, they called it. I'm out there, drop back to pass. I'm not bragging about this. One of the best passes I've thrown in my life. And the offensive coordinator who didn't want me to throw it, ball's in the air, it's a dime. Goes, oh, Timmy, oh, you missed him. It was a beautiful pass. Caught, great play, right? Got the first down. But because he didn't trust me before the play, he's seeing an accurately thrown ball, and his brain is telling him it's short, it's off target, it's not a good throw. Bad play.
Terrible read, Tim.
Until it was, like everything. Until it was caught, and then it was no. All right, never mind. Next play. Good call, guys. Like, we're human, right? So if you don't trust your quarterback, it actually changes the way you think they are playing. And then take into account that the NFL is much more nuanced than that. In that, sometimes you make a good read and a good throw, and it's still maybe one step beyond what is catchable for the receiver because that's where you had to put it. And a coordinator has to be able to recognize that's a good throw in the moment, right? Even though the layman, right, the fans in the stands are going, oh, he missed him. No, that's where you wanted it. He was going to get it or nobody, right? He took the interception out. So the fact that Dave and Bryce, which, by the way, it is a feat, but the fact that they are trusting each other more is really important and really impressive because don't forget, we're less than a year removed away from Dave Canales benching Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Less than a year away. So if Bryce has a little bit of forget this guy in his brain, that's understandable, right? And if Dave Canales has a little bit of, no, you cost me my my 2-0 start to my coaching career. Like that's understandable as well. So the fact that they're kind of on the same page is important, and I don't think it's like the sturdiest foundation. So, they're still going to have work to do.
Oh yeah, you could feel that the trust was built.
Yeah,
it was repair. I would say repair, but it was built.
It's repaired. I'm with it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know because the reason I'm a little reluctant to say repaired is that those guys hadn't gone through anything together, so,
it wasn't there.
It just really wasn't fully there to begin with. So it had to be built, and it was a difficult path to get there. But maybe Bryce Young is on the hero's journey.
But yeah, they went 2 miles in the wrong direction, and then had to turn around. Now they're making progress. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan from ACC Football Kickoff, presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Stanford. We have more to come, and including another interview with Darrell Jackson Jr., Florida State defensive tackle. But first, I want to tell you all about Miller Lending. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. I say this every time we're on a remote in another city. I am one of those real estate nerds. I'm looking up what's a house cost around here compared to this house, compared to that house. And because of that, it's natural to go right next to mortgage rates, right? How much would this cost me? What would my monthly rate be? How much could I afford in this market for the same thing in back home? It really does nothing for me other than make me watch HGTV more about refurbishing homes. But when you see those rates, they can be daunting, right? However you get to the mortgage rate, whether you are absolutely in the market for a mortgage, you're considering, you want to refi because you got a mortgage at the highest peak of what was a very unfriendly market, whatever the reason is, when you see those mortgage rates, it can be a little intimidated. And that's where Miller Lending wants to take just a bit of the sting off. They have something called a no closing cost loan. So if rates are higher than you want right now and you need a mortgage, you're going to understand that your monthly payment is a little higher than you were hoping for. But Miller Lending can take the sting off by making sure you don't have any additional money, cash taken out of your pocket. You don't need that big fat check at closing for closing costs or third-party fees or surcharges, whatever they want to call it. Zero means zero at Miller Lending, and keeping that cash in your pocket can help you cover the difference of your intended monthly payment versus what you actually have to sign up for when rates are high, and then be prepared to refi. If rates drop a half point, if they drop a point, and then next 6 months, next year, next 2 years, refinance, no cost, no fees again, just get the lower monthly payment that you were hoping for. The number to call is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377, or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. Our conversation from earlier today with Florida State Seminole Darrell Jackson coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Are the Detroit Lions really as close as we think they are?
Yeah, I think the Detroit Lions are right there. And I believe in the culture that head coach Dan Campbell has built in the Motor City. Yeah, I think the Detroit Lions are going to be right there again, vying for NFC supremacy. And I think this is one of the best teams in all of football.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You've got rhythm. Your heart's got rhythm. Then one day your rhythm's off, and you've got AFib, atrial fibrillation. The good news is you've also got an AFib center, where specialists in AFib have multiple treatment options for you. Want more good news? Most of them are minimally invasive. Learn more at wakemed.org. And what do you say you and your heart get the band back together?
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800. With
24 monthly bill credits. New line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Payoff via virtual prepaid card allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Welcome back into the drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Our coverage from ACC Kickoff here in Charlotte, of course, is presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Sanford. And our next guest stopping by the table here is Darrell Jackson Jr., Florida State redshirt senior. Doing very well. Thank you for joining us, defensive tackle. All honorable mention, all ACC a season ago. One of the veterans and kind of few returnees in this Florida State bounce back. I guess that's what we'll start with. How much of this offseason has been about last season and not wanting to have another one like that?
Oh man, just coming into the season, just being desperate and take everything that don't take nothing for granted. Just go out there and be you and just continue to grow and guide each other to success.
With a little bit of time and reflection, right? Because I'm sure a season like that, you get caught up in it. Right. Do you have a better idea of kind of what went wrong? A team that came in with top 10 expectations and didn't end up on that side of the rankings?
Man, sometimes I be home, I be thinking about what I could have done better, to help the team grow, and what I could have told the D line, because had one of the top D line coming to the nation, we ain't live up to that standard. So I feel like I let myself down and my team down. I feel me, not becoming that vocal leader and not taking that step the first 6 games. Started late, so this year I'm coming to the season becoming the vocal leader. I started this in January. Ever since I made the decision to come out to school, become that vocal leader and start faster.
Was it a hard decision to come back? How long did you weigh that back and forth?
Yeah, it was 2 months. It was a 2-month decision.
So what were the deciding factors that brought you back to Tallahassee?
I mean, because I still have room to grow. I left a lot on the table. I left a lot of players out there, and I want to solidify myself for sure.
Darrell Jackson Jr., Florida State redshirt senior defensive tackle, coming off a 32 total tackle, 4 TFL, 3.5 sack season, joining us here at ACC Kickoff. All right, I'm just going to ask it. It caught the attention of my producer, Dennis, when you were sitting down, and I'm seeing it a bunch. Explain the pendant to us. Explain the chain. What does it say, and what's the meaning behind it?
The DJ is Darrell Jackson.
Got that one.
On South Atlanta Street, on the street I grew up on. And I got Friendship. That's the community I grew up in. And it say Friendship made, and I got the struggle made me.
Okay.
Yeah.
It pops. I'll tell you, it attracts some attention.
Yeah.
Looking at this is, I'm sure you've heard of it, and I'll read it just so the listeners know. But I want your reactions to it and kind of how your team is embracing it or otherwise. Thomas Castellanos is the incoming transfer quarterback from Boston College. He was quoted earlier this offseason to On3 saying he dreamed of playing against Alabama, and then in a continuation of the quote, they don't have Nick Saban to save them. I just don't see them stopping me. When you have Alabama first on the schedule, game 1, and one of your teammates is saying that, how do you react as a vocal leader on the team who's leading the squad?
We had conversations about it, but I'm backing him up 100% though, because all he doing is just bringing confidence in the fire and the tone we have to set coming into the game. So I played the D line, so me and my boys rattled up when we saw that our quarterback with it, we behind him. So but we talked about it and things went into place. How to move, but yeah.
What was there when you say you back him up? Was there temptation to almost jump on it and start making if that's what business we're on, I've got something to say too?
I mean, we wouldn't back it up on the field, but I told him I texted him after I saw that. I said, we have your back. I texted him. I let him know because you ain't alone in this. So I'm proud of him. He trying to bring the confidence. He have it. That's just him every day.
How do you like having a game like Alabama to open the schedule? Right, you you've had some interesting games to open your schedule at Florida State, right? You're overseas. Now, this one is obviously a game everybody's going to be watching. Do you like it started like that, or would you rather a little ramp up?
I mean, the set is gonna be amazing, but it's just a regular game. It's a regular game for us. You know what I mean? You got to approach it like that. You can't get caught up in like the idiots and what everybody else saying. So you got to be a pro and go out there and play ball.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're not getting caught up in what everybody else is saying, you might not know. So I'll let you know one thing that everybody's saying about Florida State. Some websites are projecting 13 of 22 starters on offense and defense are going to be incoming transfers, new guys. Have you even gotten to know them? Like, have you been able to like memorize names and handshake and like know who everybody's going to be out there fighting with you?
Oh yeah, that's my job. That's important to me. Like to get to know everybody and bring everybody in and surround them with love, tough love. That like we're gonna set a new standard here. This is a new team, so we can't go off what last year. We gotta go out there and do what we do. Like this is a brand new team, 2025-year team. So you got to go out there and do it.
What's the biggest difference with Tony White taking over as defensive coordinator?
I mean, he bring the energy. Like he free us up, like to make plays. He put us in a great position to be disruptive and just get vertical, get off the ball, and yeah.
This one's kind of funny, just because when I was growing up, I was a Bronco fan, so I kind of kept that for a little bit.
Right.
Do you know your new D-line coach's nickname?
Pot roast.
Pot roast.
Yeah.
First of all, that's hilarious, right? Are you calling him Coach Roast, or is it like what's the move there? Can you use a nickname? Does he let you? What's the move?
He'd be like, yo, we can call him like, he'd be like, don't call me Coach. I ain't old, don't call me Coach. He'd be like, call him T-Night, or I call him Pot Roast. I call him Pot Roast when I'm joking with him, but like when he's serious, I'm like Coach T-Night. So
the reason why I said he was a Bronco fan is he was playing for the Broncos last night when he got. Just make sure everybody that didn't come out of nowhere. Do you have any nicknames?
Nah, D-Jack. That's it.
D-Jack. That trends with the name. Feel like there's a lot of those. Last one for you here before we let you go. We talked about the transfer portal with some of your incoming teammates. Seems like one of the themes every year at an event like this are players showing up, with a different team's jersey on than they were here last time. Thomas Castellanos, Boston College, now obviously a part of your squad. Started at Maryland, then Miami,
right?
Then Florida State, sat out the year, and now you're going into I think it's your third year, right, on campus?
Yeah.
Why was this the place to stay? Like, what was it about Florida State that made it the place to put down roots?
I mean, it's home though. Like ever since, like this is my dream school. Ever since I stepped foot on campus, I wanted to be here. So, I had sat out 1 year when I had became here, but this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to prove my loyalty. Like I want to be established somewhere. So I feel like why not do it at home? So.
Darrell, we appreciate you, and good luck this season, starting off with a big one.
I appreciate it, man.
Once again, that is Darrell Jackson Jr., big defensive tackle for Florida State. And when I say big, I'm not underselling that. 6'5", 338, I believe, is what he is listed at, and it tracks. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, continues with our ACC Football Kickoff coverage presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Stanford. We're nearing the end of our day one, ACC Media Day 2 overall. They got it started yesterday. But I do want to take just a quick minute here to make sure everybody's aware of what we have working tomorrow on Thursday. We are expecting to hear from, meaning we have scheduled interviews with, so you will have to tune in at some point during our show to hear them. Dave Doran, CJ Bailey, who are the obviously head coach and quarterback for NC State, along with Brandon Cleveland, Caden Fordham from the NC State defense, and Justin Jolie, tight end from NC State, who's rising up NFL draft boards. From Duke, Darian Mensah, the $3 or $4 million quarterback, depending on what per year quarterback, depending on what report you take for Duke, and head coach Manny Diaz, as well as Brian Parker and Chandler Rivers, two players, offensive line and corner, that have been getting plenty of preseason accolades, All-Americans, All-ACCs. We will hear from Clemson, Cade Klubnik, and TJ Parker. Those are, if you go by ESPN's 2026 mock draft, the projected number 1 and number 3 pick in the upcoming NFL draft. Obviously, not every mock draft has them that high, but some do. So they're playing with quite a few stakes as far as evaluation for the next step goes. We'll hear from some Boston College all-conference players. We'll hear from Eddie Royal, ESPN and ACC Network analyst, and we're still trying to fit in a few more. And as we've said a few times throughout the show, nobody, and that's not just us, there's really nobody outside of perhaps the powers that be within the television networks that are aware of what UNC's plan is tomorrow for ACC football kickoff. I've been coming to these things for a while now. This is a unique experience for me in a entire team, an entire program, right? Gio Lopez should be in attendance. Thaddeus Dixon should be in attendance. Some of the playmakers for UNC, as well as Bill Belichick. And again, it's an unusual situation, but it seems like nobody really knows if, when, or where, what type of availability we will get. But I guess that's part of the Belichick effect, right? It's they're probably getting a lot of requests, and they're dealing with it how they're dealing with it. So we'll keep you updated on all that throughout the show tomorrow. But either way, with Belichick or not, we will have a banger of a show as far as insight into the ACC. I am very much looking forward to it when we get back on air tomorrow for the day 2 coverage for us. ACC Football Kickoff presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Stanford. And if there's any breaking news around NFL training camps, we'll get to that as well. We'll find the time. I don't know where, but we will find the time.
We'll make it work.
Thank you to Dennis, who you just heard from right there, for keeping us
you.
up and running here, along with Dave Modlin. Follow us on social media. Our social media manager, Ashley's here, and she would appreciate it. And thank you to Graham back at the studio for keeping us up and running. YouTube, subscribe, 99.9 The Fan. And I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't think I am. ACC Football Kickoff coverage tomorrow continues, presented by Wilkinson Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC in Stanford. We'll see you then. Have a great night, everybody.
Join 99.9 The Fan live from Charlotte